on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the WrestlePurists Podcast, episode 81, hosted by myself, Joe Hulbert, Charlie, Manny. The usual four for the Thursdays it's turned into recently. You know, we're going to be here. We're going to review Dynamite. We're going to talk a few other things. We're going to talk Collision. Probably talk a little bit about the media call that Shawn Michaels and Tony Khan have done today. And, you know, whatever else has been on the agenda the past 24 hours or so, you know, whatever you want us to talk about. Of course, first things first, please like, subscribe, super chat. It's always appreciated. And I'm going to go around and see how my co-hosts are doing today. I'm going to start with Manny. Manny, you've got a new mic. There was a lot of complications backstage before we went live. You're currently muted. I don't know if you know that.
Hello.
But how are you doing today, man?
I'm good, you know. I had a Godzilla dream last night, and then
Okay.
that was my day, and then until I got my new mask. I got my Sakuraba one in.
Nice.
I think this is 2021, the Bandito Hayabusa mask.
Oh, sick.
Nice.
And then the one mask that I really wanted the most, and of course it doesn't fit me like all my other favorite masks. The Bandito Solitario mask.
Bandito has a lot of cool masks, man.
Yeah, he does.
There's a lot.
Man, he leveled up, I feel like, with this latest round, right?
Well,
yeah, man. That's a good collection.
Well, I said that I'm not buying. I said I'm not buying any more, and I bought these a while back. But the thing is, I didn't realize that they had to be custom made. So I'm waiting on my last three to come, and then I just got word that one of them they haven't even started making on. So,
got words.
I mean, I haven't brought any other masks. It's just these, so I'm actually really done buying them. I'm just waiting on my last two.
I wasn't interrogating you, brother. I was just saying they were good masks. You can get as many as you want, man. That's all, man.
I don't know if I'm right, Joe. Maybe you'll know better than me. But it feels like it's been a while since Manny has pulled a few masks out on the stream. You know, he deserves to treat himself. You know,
yeah.
I agree. Absolutely.
Well, I treated myself a while back. They're just getting here.
Well, you know, it all means the same. You know, but yeah, I'll throw it to you next, Charlie. Charlie, how are you doing on this wonderful Thursday evening?
I'm doing okay. It's been a long week. It's been a long day. Just spent most of it packing, rewatching Dynamite because I forgot pretty much everything that happened.
Wow.
And yeah, just ready to go home tomorrow, to be honest.
Happy days, Mr. Hulbert. How are you doing today, mate?
Another day in paradise, folks. We're back again. More professional wrestling talk here on WrestlePurists. I remain very uncomfortable, if you can't tell. Different approach today. I'm trying to kind of slouch a bit more. You know, I'm often accused of having too good of a posture. So I'm kind of, if you actually saw it, yeah, I'm kind of cramped right now, but I feel like it looks better than me kind of being in your face like this. So we're going to try things out. Talk to me, folks. Tell me how it's going. But nonetheless, I'm here to discuss professional wrestling, as I believe is the intention. So I'm fired up as always. Monty, how are you, my friend?
I'm not too bad. I've kind of been out the game today, you know. Been blindsided by a few match graphics as I checked my phone about 10, 15 minutes ago. And, you know, it's just podcast.
Can I ask you a question? As friends, can I ask you a question before we get going here? You know, when you said you're not too bad, would you agree with my assessment that is in fact a lie, and you're actually going to be very aggressive tonight? Because I'm not an expert. I get the sense you're going to be. I'll
leave it backstage. You know, I'll leave it backstage.
Right,
leave it backstage. Don't worry.
Drop it in the curtain.
We're going to be okay, folks.
Man.
Don't worry.
Drop it in the curtain.
We'll be alright.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
All right, let's. We'll start with the Dynamite review, man. One thing I will say, the crowd wasn't.
Well, it sucked.
Where was we? Where was
Vegas.
Where was it last night? Vegas. Yeah. That Vegas crowd for Dynamite, not you know, as Manny said, he thought it sucked. It wasn't great, to put it politely. You know. I don't know, man. Nothing seemed to like properly like catch them, you know, and get them really going. Like, yeah, they would pop for things. It weren't deaf silence. It was points of it, but like, you know, like some things that they pop for and stuff. But there's nothing ever felt, you know, they never felt like they got going. You know, don't know why. Maybe it's just a shit crowd. It happens, But anyway, show opens up. Orange Cassidy versus Cole Fletcher. Again, our weekly Orange Cassidy had a good match segment. Yes. Charlie, I'll throw it to you first because you are we all like Cole Fletcher here, but you're the big Aussie Open fan, and of course we'll go straight into the big Aussie Open announcement that happened straight after.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good match. Like, as much as it is a shame that Davis is injured right now, I think it's good for Kyle to be able to show that he isn't just a tag wrestler. Like, they can both do the singles things as well, and they're both really good at it. Like, Orange Cassidy is, like, damn near perfect in every match with the story he's telling right now, and I just don't think it's appreciated right enough, like, how much storytelling he's actually putting into the way he wrestles his matches. And if you watch his matches, like, back-to-back on a week-to-week basis, like, it just changes ever so slightly every week, and it's been really interesting to me. But yeah, I'm very excited about having Carl and Davis in AEW. I talked a lot about tag team wrestling yesterday and things that they could do to improve the division, and this feels like a very good step in the right direction. So happy for the boys. Had to rep them tonight.
Yeah, great signing for AEW, 100%. Of course, it was announced on Twitter like immediately after Cole Fletcher's match with Cassidy. But Aussie Open are all elite.
They are.
Which while we were streaming yesterday, Sean Ross Sapp dropped that report on Fight for Select, and it was like the initial tweet was like AEW and WWE are both interested in Aussie Open or something to that effect, and then when when you go past the paywall and you read the full article and stuff, it's like AEW are actually like confident that they'll be able to sign them, etc., etc. And then after we got off live, Charlie was saying some of the details about like how he said in the report that Tony Khan's paid for Davis's surgery and stuff like that. And me and Charlie were kind of speculating and were saying like it wouldn't surprise me if they were already signed. And there you go, they were already signed. So it was, I guess, after Sean's report, it was kind of like a big bat signal, But yeah, not super surprising that they have actually ended up becoming all elite. A great signing for the tag division, as Charlie and as we was all talking about yesterday, as we did talk about the tag divisions a lot. They will be a great addition if used properly. So yeah, great signing. But Joe, what did you think of the opener, Cassidy versus Fletcher, and of course your thoughts on the signing?
I thought it was decent. I didn't get as much out of it as Charlie did, but that's to be expected, right? In terms of just you have an investment, it's more. But the one thing I would say is this match was hurt a little bit for me because we know what Orange is doing at the Pape. It's like that's always hard, right? Like don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that on any other week you'd have really bought there's going to be a title change, but when you know what the pay-per-view match is, it's like it was kind of difficult, I thought, to buy a change here, which is always challenging, especially with the time they got. But I thought they had a pretty nice match. The finishing stretch, is where Fletcher really thrives, right? He has some pretty dynamic offense. He's very athletic. So there was some good stuff here. It wasn't my favorite Orange title defense, but honestly, I mean, he's had an incredible reign. So I don't think there's any shame.
It's still good,
Yeah, absolutely. And as for Aussie Open, we kind of, we had some fun last night, right? But I think we all quickly reached the same conclusion in terms of it's just such an obvious fit. It's a perfect match. It makes sense for all involved. And, I think it's relevant in the conversation we had last night about this FTR title reign. It feels like, their match with Aussie Open should be the start of a rivalry in AEW, right? I mean, they had that match in London for New Japan. That's something that a lot of your audience never even saw. So it's like you can build upon that. So hopefully we get Aussie Open in the tag title picture as soon as possible, honestly, because I think it's going to be a hell of a time. So Wembley Stadium, I think it's got to be the not that I'm biased, or just feels like
that is the immediate conclusion I came to as well.
Yeah. Well, you return to the scene of the crime, right? You go back to London with about 80,000 more people there. I mean, that's a pretty cool deal. So Aussie Open, a huge signing for sure.
Yeah, hopefully they can, like I said, hopefully they can really cope with them because they're definitely good enough to, worthy of any sort of push that they could possibly get in this company. They are that good. Manny, thoughts on the signing? Thoughts on the opener?
It was another robbery. Kyle Fletcher did everything he can to win, and then just the ref fast counted again. Man, I don't know what's going on. I tried calling the athletic commission, but they have a 1.5 star review on Google, so I didn't even bother because I knew the service was gonna be bad. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm glad that they're signed. Aussie, oi, oi, oink. I mean, it's just what it is.
Wait.
Wait.
Did you just say?
Hold on. Stop. Everyone, stop. Say that again, man.
Aussie, oink, oink, oink.
No. You've really misunderstood this. I'm sorry to say. Give it one more go because this is important. We may be mishearing you. I don't know.
Aussie, oi, oink, oink.
That one was like a mix.
Where the oink's coming from, bro?
There's no oink, brother.
What?
No oink. It's just
linking them together.
Yeah.
Look at him, Joe. You don't know what's going on.
Actually, right.
The chat's not. I'm not hearing things. The chat is. The chat's seeing it. They're hearing it. On the last one, I heard oi, oink, oi, oink,
yes.
oink.
The first was just an oink. Stick with the oi, brother. You don't need no wink. You're fine.
No oinks. No oinks.
How many times have we done this bit in a group chat, Manny, when me and Lexi will just go back and forth saying Aussie, oi, oi, oi? Where have you gone?
he thought you were misspelling it.
Oh my god, I'm actually
confused
crying.
now too. I mean, well, I mean, the match was good. That he shouldn't have took that apron bump.
That apron bump was crazy.
Yeah, good shit, man. Good shit.
I do want to say we're about to snatch up Will Ospreay of New Japan. You better watch out.
Moving on. Let's reset. We're gonna reset with some super chats. Please keep them coming. We always appreciate them, especially off BAM as always with the $10. What the hell is TK doing with Jay White, man? His first pay-per-view as an AEW wrestler is in a battle royal. Should have had him beat Starks Sunday, win the belt off OC on next week, and then have Starks chase. Don't sound like the worst idea in the world, to be honest, but that ain't happening. That ain't happening, brother. I'm very distraught about the graphic I saw earlier today, but I'm not gonna lash out. I'll let the other people do it on screen. They'll be a lot more polite about it. I'm not in the business of slander anymore. Being reserved and being a professional, I'm just gonna host this thing tonight.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I don't think he'd be performative. Like, this was a huge signing, and he's a transformative piece. When that happened, we did. You always have to pair these things with that disclaimer of if positioned in a certain way and if used in a certain fashion and if featured. And thus far they've just missed on it. And you were very quick on it, very very quick on it. And I think it's fair that people are like, well, hold on, give them time. And I think now they've been given enough time to be disappointed. Now, what I will say is, and this is not me doing just let it play out for the sake of it, I do believe this is like, knowing how Tony Khan's brain works, I do think it's worth seeing things through to this next pay-per-view cycle, right? Because that's when he kind of starts fresh and figures out where he's going pay-per-view match-wise. However, I want to make clear, I don't think that's any excuse for like how just slotted he immediately feels as just another guy. I think it's a real miss. So yeah, it sucks, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's certainly a decision. I get wanting to have him on the pay-per-view, but just do the singles match at that point. Like, yeah, I don't know. You ain't lacking for guys to fill their spaces in a battle royal, like.
Right.
Well, I want to say real quick, I think it's kind of funny how everybody wants everybody to be the international champion, but nobody wants them to be the TNT champion. I just think it's a funny thing going on right now.
Nice, Orange has made the title the workers' title now. That's what the TV title, I guess. That was kind of the idea of the TNT title when it was first introduced. You know what I mean? Like, that was the weekly defense title, etc., etc. And ever since the Wardlow era, that has not been the case. And that has transitioned to the introduction of the AEW International title, and obviously Cassidy being first champion, he's been doing Cassidy things. So,
well, it's funny because the TNT title is now the storyline belt or whatever. And like, if you think about it, Jay White and Ricky Starks don't really fit the work rate kind of thing, or maybe Jay White does, but like the work rate style of the belt, but they fit the TNT style of the belt that they want to go in for that belt, and nobody's in there. It's just Christian and Lucha Boy, and then War Dog. So I mean,
yeah, it's yeah. Bam with the other $5 with another $5. Excuse me. Assume that TK paid for the surgery, and so happy Aussie Open are signed. But please don't book them like JTK. Sorry for the negativity, everyone. Listen, man, you're a wrestling fan, and you're getting your takes off. You're not exactly saying, "Oh, fucking burn AEW to the ground." You're being very measured with your criticism. Yeah,
they're not exactly bad faith takes. Like,
yeah, we all know that. We know Bam. We know Bam.
Well, that's the thing in general. Like, there is a big difference between like using an instance of bad booking as a rule that like actually the promotion should die, and just being like, hey, I don't think this is very good. There's those two things are a world apart, and unfortunately sometimes we lose track of that, I think. But
yeah,
100%. If you're a fan of a guy, you're allowed to want him to get there as part of the game.
I have been laughing at a lot of the Pearl geeks that have been crying about AEW stealing Aussie Open from New Japan, which has been pretty funny.
I don't get that, because how long did they have to offer those guys a contract? Like
years, like literal years.
It's like I saw them work God in that was August 2019. It's like they've
been around, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, phrasing it as stealing is like crazy.
I mean, because
people were throwing around like they were poaching talent. It's just like, listen, if New Japan wanted them to be signed to contracts, they would be signed to contracts right now.
To be fair, Aussie Open wasn't the only wrestlers that they were naming. They were like naming Jay White and like
his contract run out. Like, what do you want them to do?
And then
Yuka everyone kind of knows to deal with Jay at this point, right? Yeah. Like, that was pretty clear what his intention was.
But one AEW is he's in New York, brother.
Yeah.
I think they did great stuff in New Japan, but I'm just thankful they've gone to the company that will still let them work with New Japan. Like, if they'd gone to WWE, kiss that goodbye. Like,
which was part of why it felt like such an obvious fit to begin with. Right?
Yeah.
It's like they can still keep that partnership. Again, to Manny, I get what you're getting at with that, Manny. Like, that's not a thing we see as much as we'd like, right? Tony can be pretty reserved, but it's still an option, which is better than it being completely off the table. So
unless his talent really push it through, though, we'll make it happen. Obviously, if they're tied up in storylines and need to keep win records, fucking whatever.
Look at our boy Eddie Kingston. He's working Corkin.
That's awesome.
He's a beast.
That is awesome.
He's back home.
What is fuck?
Funny watching, like, imagine Eddie Kingston like walking around a kimono or something like that. It'd be kind of funny, like a New York kimono.
Spiritual home, brother. Corkin. WrestlePurists Claude, $2, appreciate it. Frank Lampard, it's time to stay. Absolutely not, mate.
Well, let hear him out.
No. Did you see that report? Well, you probably didn't, because this is a wrestling channel. But like, there was like a report of like Frank Lampard would not accept the offer if he was offered a place as background staff. Like as a coach on the patch. But mate, I won't want him fucking around anyway. Get him out of here. But yeah, it's definitely not time to stay, Claude. Enough football talk. That'll just get me mad again.
Yeah, let's not do that one.
Darren KJ, $5.55. Interesting amount. Everyone watching WrestlePurists tonight, watch the Late Night Grin tomorrow. The big men are back. #O2 Fund. Factual.
Tremendous super chat right there. Late Night Grim, we ride again tomorrow night. 8 Eastern, twitch.tv/Late Night Grim. Thanks for the plug, Darren.
Yeah, man. Christopher Lindsay, $4.99. Appreciate you very much. I know a thing or two about being strong, and I can tell John, you one strong man. Show us anything.
No, you know what? This is getting out of hand now. Christopher Lindsay is crazy.
Is that his shoot name?
Yes, indeed, it is his shoot name.
Oh, thank God his name's Roger Strong as a gimmick, man. I mean,
incredible play. On some level, I respect it, but not a very high level, I must admit. No pose, not whatsoever. Again, let me stress again. Currently uncomfortable sitting. There will be no posing. We're a ways away here, folks. We're not coming very close here, but anyway, we'll proceed.
Imagine saying Lindsay with the end of heartache. That's kind of crazy. I mean, Lindsay, chopped by Lindsay.
Manny's really stuck on this now. But Christopher, add a few zeros on the end, and you might get see some swans tonight.
7 or 8.
$1 million super chat. Joe just poof. $5 from Bam again. Appreciate you. He's on a roll tonight. I know it's been stated that they didn't plan to have him, but that doesn't matter. You got a major player, not a bench player, out of the blue. That's obviously about Jay White again. And 100, bro. I'm with you, 100%. It doesn't matter if he wasn't if he was expecting him to go to WWE, which seems to be the case. If you've got him, you've got him. Them ones. Yeah. Like, if you've got nothing for him, you don't have to fucking throw him out there on TV and shit. So, like Joe said, I guess all you can do. Like, I've fucking screamed and shouted about it on a few podcasts at this point. Anyone watching this at this point probably already knows what I have to think about it. But like Joe said, I guess on the new pay-per-view cycle, he gets another shot, and you'll never be able to make first impressions again. Obviously, it isn't literally the first time he was in front of AEW fans because of the build to the Forbidden Door and stuff like that. And he was actually presented like such a big deal in that, which makes this even more like you've already presented him as a really big deal to your audience, and now that you've actually signed him, it's like, quick little TV feud and throw you in a battle royal, kid. It's like yeah. Yep. Jason Major 199 Lucha Boy. That's a dinosaur for diversity, man.
Dinosaurs aren't real.
I don't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it.
Oh shit. Detonator Nova, $5. Joe, are you looking forward to Adam Cole Bay's latest unsanctioned match, considering how you reacted to the last time? Joe Overlaw, brother. It is a good question.
I mean, this one has Sabu involved, right? So
yeah.
If it was like, I don't know. There was a lot of different factors at play with that last one that are not currently at play. I'm going to leave it at that.
Orange.
No, not orange is not my concern.
I remember the pain. I remember the pain in your voice reviewing that match.
Yeah. Well,
defeated man that day. A man who, I don't know.
Yeah, that was quite the night. But nonetheless, I think this will probably be pretty good. Like, I've said this a million times, but with Jericho, it's kind of whatever you think of his character and his booking and his push, which is all debated and fair enough. But like in ring, he very seldom lets you down. He's had a couple misses on pay-per-view, no doubt it happens. But he generally hits, and I don't think he's going to miss with Cole personally. So we'll see.
Yeah, generally he's got a pretty good hit rate on papes. So we'll see what he's cooking. Let's get back to Dynamite, people. Of course, we're back in this round. Ricky starts. He's cutting a promo with Renee, and he gets jumped by Jay White and Juice Robinson. So that's continuing, obviously. Yeah, man. Obviously, we just spent the last few minutes talking about Jay White, and
Well, there's one thing I do actually want to say about this, and then we'll leave the Jay White thing because it's exhausting. But one of the things that makes this most frustrating to me is I actually want to see this feud with like true time and effort put into it. And their match last week only made me want to see an actual feud more. Mm-hmm. And instead they're getting that feud that often guys get in AEW where it's like they just get like 30-second pre-tapes every week, and it doesn't feel fleshed out or important at all. And that's perhaps the most frustrating thing is like, I know for a lot of for some folks on our channel, they don't want to see Jay White do anything with Ricky, and that's fair enough. But personally, I'm more frustrated because I actually want to see this feud, and it feels like I'm getting like a like a preview of it almost. You know, it's like an appetizer for it, and it's bizarre. So we'll leave it there, I guess. But it's a shame.
Definitely. Next up, we had a FTR in-ring promo, which was then interrupted by Mark Briscoe, who then proceeded to slap the shit out of everybody. Joe, your thoughts?
Didn't like this very much. I like Mark. You know, Mark. The slap to Jarrett was incredible, and Jeff sold it as only Jeff can. I thought this portrayal of FTR, when I use the word portrayal, folks, I'm not saying that it's not their call. I'd imagine they've got their hands all over this creative, but I didn't think it was a good presentation of them at all. More specifically, Dax, which I'm aware this is now opening a can of worms, which is not my intention, but Dax did not come across like a babyface to me in this segment at all. And I think anyone who's watched these shows before knows that I'm not doing like an agenda when I say that. I love FTR, but I just thought it was badly presented. And part of it was because they were like rushing through it, you know? It was like Mark came out and he was like, shake my hand, you know? So it just felt really manufactured, I thought. I've liked the feud. I'm excited for the match. But I thought this segment was... Yeah, I thought this segment was a miss, which is a shame because I've liked the rest of the feud quite a lot. But I'm still excited for the match nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I was a bit baffled by the way Dax was coming off here. Maybe it was because they were rushing through it and etc. etc. Who knows? But I didn't think this was a hit. And like Joe said, the rest of the segments in this feud and this build have popped me quite a lot.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I think this one was the weakest.
Yeah,
I tweeted last night that Mark Briscoe was the only babyface in this feud, and I stand by that because that segment last night was very weird. Especially like the FTR portrayal baffled me because of like, why wasn't Dax more sincere when it was his mistake? Right. Like that's the thing that I'm really stuck on with this, when they're consistently like so babyface in their promos.
Yeah,
like normally it was a very bizarre angle to take, unless the heel turns come in, and that's how they're going to run this. But it's an interesting choice.
I would have left it unsaid, honestly, because you kind of like, while I agree with you on Mark being the babyface, that's mostly because Mark is just like, he's Mark, you know, you just like Mark. But I thought it was kind of a mess in the sense that not only what you said, but also as a fan, you can't help but kind of be like, you know, like, did Mark not watch what happened? You know, so then you kind of have this thing where like, when Dax says don't let them manipulate you, he sounds like he's gaslighting and being a dick. But meanwhile, there's a party that's like, he's kind of right though. So you leave this thing kind of like, it's not the best presentation of anyone. But Mark, obviously, he comes out for him because it's Mark, and that's his charm. But yeah, it was they'd have honestly been better just doing a straight up babyface promo and leaving the mystery for Sunday as to where Mark feels about it and how he feels about it. I do wonder. And this wouldn't make the segment good, but it might explain it a little bit. I do wonder if on Sunday it's not so much that Mark is just going to call it in the middle, but actually he's the one manipulating Team TNA on some level. You know, and it's like, it'll kind of be a wink-wink deal.
Yeah.
I don't think that would make a ton of sense, but it might explain why Dax was so heavy-handed and was like, yeah, I pile drive you. Who gives a shit? You know, shake my hand. It was like, well, you're the pile driver, man. It's a big deal. So, I don't know.
Who knows? I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Kind of mad that I didn't know anything of this while this is going on. The one thing I will say that I'm really want to see a Mark Briscoe and Sutton Unseen match. When they came face to face, I said, "Oh man, this is the Manny special right here." And
Sutton Unseen casually dropped an F-bomb like on live TV, and like I caught it on my rewatch. I was just like, "Wait, you just said what the fuck?" it popped me. I thought it was very
Sutton, man. He's what a guy, you know. And, what a signing.
And I want to give a shout out to Karen Jarrett, man. Mark shoved her and she stayed up, you know. I thought she would have fell with those heels or whatever, but man, she stayed strong on the ground, unlike Jeff Jarrett where he fell.
She's solid, man.
Great addition to the act, you know. Dixie Carter, she's coming in to Double or Nothing, man.
Yeah, that name drop, I was like, oh god, here we go.
Yeah.
It was something, you know. But yeah, shout out Mark Briscoe. I fucking love the guy, you know.
Yeah.
Next up, we had a Sammy Guevara promo. Obviously, building up to his, his title match this Sunday, 4 Pillars. Nothing too of note said in this. I think it's fair to say. Not to say that this was fucking terrible or anything like that. It's just, sometimes there's just not anything of note to review or talk about. So, next up we had House of Black versus Metalik, AR Fox, Blake Christian in the open house rules, AEW trios, titles, defense. The lights were different again.
Monty, let me start off here, Monty. Man,
go ahead, bro.
Those fucking lights suck, bro. I don't care how cool your photos look when they took them, bro. Man, I'm watching the match. I'm not watching the photos post time, man. I'm sorry. I mean, I just couldn't deal with it. I need this gimmick to end. I need him to have regular matches. I'm also mad that I took down my Masquerada mask just for him to lose, and I had to hang it back up. I mean, this is just a big letdown for the Manny clan, the whole time, man. I couldn't even focus on the match because the lights are so bad.
I'm pretty, with the lights, I'm not gonna sit here and be like I like them or that.
I feel like I was at a chapel.
I just have like bigger issues with the shows, lights. And the matches are actually still pretty decent, So it's like
I can appreciate them doing different things, like because they're trying to make the House of Black feel like the big act that they are. So I can appreciate it. Yeah. I would just maybe go back to how they had it last week if they're gonna do special lighting, because it was a bit trippy. Like especially like watching them flip about with that in the background. It was an interesting choice.
Man, you're getting angry staring at the screen, not being able to concentrate.
Yeah, I was just like, man, I feel like I'm on drugs. I shouldn't feel like I'm on drugs. Well, I mean, like
pictures were cool though. They were very Van Gogh-esque. I liked it a lot. Like the actual pictures.
Yeah.
Stained glass.
But like I said, the actual match itself, and like the one last week or whenever it was when they first introduced, doing different like lightings and stuff. Good shit, man. Like Brody King, fucking Buddy Murphy doing Rhea Ripley's finish, and it's fucking good shit.
The resubmissions, I like that spot.
It was very much like we discussed this last night, right? And a concern of mine was they were going to kind of, put a heat segment in there and pad this match to 10. It's like this was exactly what I think we all collectively agreed would be best. I think they had like 5 to 6 minutes, and they gave the baby faces some cool spot. I mean, AR Fox had his big dive. The other guys had their big dives, and Blake always does the thing where he catches the guy. Like they had their moments, they didn't kill him, but there was no reason to extend this beyond what it was. It was pretty much perfect. And I just to use this as an example of like, I think AEW and honestly wrestling TV in general could be a lot more flexible with length and time and matches. This is an example of it. This was not even 6 minutes, I believe. Again, I could be wrong on that, folks, but I don't believe it was even 6 minutes. And I thought the baby faces got as much out of this as they would if they'd have, sold for 5 extra minutes and got their comeback anyway. Yeah. So I thought it was really effective usage of time. I liked it a lot.
I'm also mad after every time the House of Black wrestled that we didn't get a Buddy Matthews singles match before, because I mean, from what I did see, he was really good in there with AR Fox, and then of course Metalik, because I mean, I just wish we got some matches.
Have you seen their match, Manny, from back in the day, Metalik and Bud?
Pretty sure I have.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He had some really good ones with Kalisto, which was always like he'd have better matches with him than Metalik for some reason. But anyway, enough about 205 Live.
I will say, for House of Black, I want to see them wrestle a heel tag team, because I don't think House of Black really fall on either side. The crowd loves them, and they're like one of those rare acts that just transcends like putting them in either or category. I think they can work both of them, and I want to see him have a feud with LFI. Like, I want him in the ring with like Rush and Andrade and Preston Vance, because he's just there as well, when he. That's the feud I want.
You can put Jelly Seco in there. You don't have to put Preston Vance in there now.
This is I'll take that as well.
The audience would absolutely get into like build into a Brody King hot tag. The people would be with that because they love it. Every time Brody gets in front of the people, they want to see him kill guys, right? They love that.
They bark with him. It's great.
Yeah. Imagine him and Rush just bumping into each other, nobody trying to sell.
That was why I was thinking the Rush and Buddy situation could be something too, man. That's good stuff. I like it.
Or Buddy and Andrade, we just watch it again.
Yeah. And we know Malachi and Andrade have good chemistry.
Yeah, I just want to see if Andrade can like run and stuff at 250 pounds. I'm like, let's see if he can move. Yeah.
See what he's saying,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's
very
the
big.
I'm
Very, very big.
You know, the House of Black have that cigarette effect, you know, where they just always look cool. You know what I mean?
That's
cigarette effect. Good shit, man. Good shit.
That's a great comparison.
All right. So next up we had the MJF promo. Charlie.
No.
Come on.
I don't know what you want me to say that I haven't said before.
You know, I do kind of, I just kind of blindsided you with that, just to give some background. MJF, you know, he came out and he does his promo, and at first it's almost like babyface-ish, where he's putting the pillars over as a collective, like we are AEW, like he literally says that, you know, like, and then he's like, oh, but what? And he just switches, when he flicks the switch, and you know, he goes proper heelish, and he starts making shots at the fans, and he does all that sort of stuff, and then he goes back to his bidding war of 2024 and his contract, and he called the company incompetent, and you know, and he was just like, "Oh, we're doing this again," you know. And then Darby comes out.
17 steps back.
Then Darby comes out, and they go back and forth, and they do the thing, and I was kind of baffled by this. I've seen a lot of the Punk and MJF law specialists. Obviously, we have one ourselves called Ibu of WrestlePurists. He seems to be under the impression that MJF is resorting back to the stuff that he was saying in prior months, and even though we got sick of it, what he's doing is possibly setting up and planting the seeds that he was trying to plant back then for his CM Punk feud. And to that, I would say that you should read the room. You know, fucking hell. So, like, even if that is the logic behind it, which is only speculation, you know, and guessing as fans do and stuff, but even if that is what they're trying to do, like I said, read the fucking room. And now, Charlie, now I'll give some background about what MJF did. How dare he do that, you know? You can now proceed to do what you always do with MJF.
Listen, man. How many times have I got to say it before something changes? Because I liked like the first minute of the promo, and then he called the crowd disgusting pause, and I was like, all right, I'm out. Like, you've immediately gone back to the same shit that you say all the time. And it's like, he's not doing anything to show why he should be champion still, in my opinion, which sounds really harsh, but I don't get it. I don't get why he keeps going back to the same well when it, like, I don't know whether it's just because he knows that's what will get the fans to boo him, but it's like, you're a smart guy, come up with something new. Like, it can't be that difficult, because if he's got such a dynamic character, and I think he could be an incredible heel, like, we've talked about it before, if he went more into, like, the grittier stuff, like he has, like, shown glimpses of before, like, he could be great, but he's not, and it really frustrates me because he's a great wrestler, and I always like his matches, and people are just like, well, you're fake, you like his matches. I'm just like, yeah, but everything else is shit, so I don't know what you want me to say. I said earlier that I wasn't going to be spiteful on the podcast, but here we are.
You was fairly measured with it, you know. You even snuck in a compliment about his matches, you know.
I did. I always compliment his matches, but
it's been a very, you know, actually, so Joe, I'm quite fascinated to hear what you have to say about about this in general. You know, what we're doing here, mate.
There was a word that Charlie used there for straights, right? For straights, right? It's like, I think that's the one I keep coming back to, Max, because like it feels like he needs an editor more than anything else, you know. There was a very good promo in here, and while the pillars thing has been divisive, his thing where he was like pumping up the pillars idea, I thought was actually a really good promo.
Yeah.
The issue was he wanted to kind of have his cake and eat it too, right? Because he wanted to do that. But his concern was they would cheer him when he did that. So then he kind of front loaded that and you know, followed it up with like his traditional heel promo, as Charlie explained. I didn't even think it was like terrible. It's just, it feels like he's kind of going in circles as a character, which is really unfortunate and especially frustrating, because the one thing, whether you're a big MJF fan or not, that he did really well for the first couple of years of AEW was it did feel like we were seeing this character kind of progress, right? And this idea of like these insecurities coming out and him showing more of an edge at times and him being this and him being that. And now it kind of feels like he's stalled to me as a character. It's like getting the belt has kind of backfired in some ways, because to me, it feels like his development as a personality it just ended there. You know, we teased some interesting things there. When he won the belt and we were doing the whole devil thing with Regal, I thought that was actually, like, that could have been potentially pretty interesting. This idea of, like, you haven't seen nothing yet. You know, he's about to become a real monster now. Not a guy who needs cheap heat. He's going to be an animal, a savage. And instead, he's slowly reverted back to this. I'm sure he has his reasons. Like, I have no doubt he could explain why he thinks that was the right choice. As a fan and a viewer, I think it's made him increasingly uninteresting. Now, it has to be said, part of what he was trying to achieve here was because, you know, this Pillars thing has been what it's been, right? And you could tell Max had this idea of, I'm going to try and get this where it needs to get. I don't think he got there. I think he came close to that first half of the promo. By the end of it, I was back to square one of like, I'm ready for this thing to end. You know, it didn't work for me, unfortunately. And again, it's frustrating because it isn't due to lack of skill. There was a very good promo in this segment.
Mm-hmm.
It was just lost in the overall package.
Yeah. Manny, I know you're not a big MJF in-ring promo segment guy, but you got anything you wanna touch on this with?
MJF kind of reminds me of like a basketball player called Jalen Green. You know, Jalen Brown. He has no dribble packages, no nothing. You know, he has only one element to his game, and it's kind of disappointing and sad. I mean, people are saying that he's bringing up stuff that he might have brought up with the CM Punk feud, and there was a little tease of it yesterday, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy that he's looking past his feud and already thinking about the Punk stuff. I would have just kept it focused to the Pillars, but I mean, I don't know. It's fucking MJF. Who cares? I mean, he called Vegas. He called Vegas. I mean, is he? I mean, he called Vegas. He called Vegas virgins. I mean, come on, that's like the one place Vegas. You're gonna call everybody virgins in Vegas? I mean, it's fucking Sin City, baby. I mean,
it just bothers me no end. Like, I've talked about it, but I do want him to succeed. Like, I would love for him to change my mind one day on who he is as a character. Like, because obviously, like, off screen, I'm sure he's lovely, like, as a person. But the character he plays on TV, I just cannot get behind it. And I do like heels. It's not because he's a heel. It's just the character work really is not for me at all.
Yeah.
It's I guess for me, like, going into the feud, when like they kind of got to it straight away, you know, like when they done the first in-ring promo, and it was like from the start, it was always like the pay-per-view match will probably be very good, you know. Of course, you know, like they're gonna go out there and they're gonna try and kill it, and I assume at least even MJF to an extent, all of them are gonna have like a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, and they're gonna want to show out in the main event, you know, or. Well, Anarchy in the Arena could be main event. Some people think Jericho and Cole might main event, but like, you know, it's the world title match on the pay-per-view regardless. So, you know, they're going to want to make a point and steal the show if they can, and all those kind of things. But so, like I said, we know the match is going to be good. So the question for me was like, can they make me buy into any of those guys as challengers, and can they make it feel like a real pay-per-view main event feud? I think they've failed in both of those categories.
And I think it's hurt everybody in the long run. Like, I don't know. I don't really see MJF as like, because I thought he was ready before. Now I don't think he's ready to carry a company on his back. Darby, I thought he was cool. Now I think he's just like, you know, just a pretend cool guy. Jungle Boy.
He did pop me with MJF. Said he was on stilts. And he was like,
with his
Darby stepping in the ring at like 6'3". I was like, all right, man. You know?
I hope after this feud they just put everybody winning again. Like, just have them all separate from each other and just have them just go on winning streaks. Maybe not Sammy, because I don't really want more Sammy on my TV. But Jungle Boy, that Roosh match with Jungle Boy opened my eyes. Maybe there's something there. Just having that direction. Hopefully he beats Christian for the TNT title. Darby, I mean, go have fun climbing Mount Everest and bring tape of it to Dynamite. And then MJF, I mean, hope he has a fun feud with Punk.
I will say, where this like segment was placed on Dynamite, I think that kind of shows where they view the world title picture to be at internally as well. Because it's not what we closed the show out with on the Go Home Dynamite, which is a choice. So,
yeah, it was also like, it wasn't the most inspired layout of an angle either, right? It was very like Dynamite rolls on, you know. Like, I mean, I know they wanted their big moment with the three, you know, the challengers kind of all stare. But I mean, it to me anyway, it didn't come across. While Max had this big effort and wanted to make a big show of it, I didn't take the angle as this like, oh man, they're really trying to get me with this one. Like, if you went into Dynamite unconvinced by this angle, I think it would be pretty surprising if you came out of this like, oh, I'm ready to go. You know,
I'm even less convinced.
Yeah.
I still think it should have been like a 5-minute MJF promo, and then the three others should have come out together just to sell the fact that they're really all in on this. It needs to be one of us and not him that they were shooting with last week. And I said it last week, I think that a lot of the angles felt like go-home angles on that Dynamite. They should have swapped these segments, I think. Yeah, and I think it would have come out a lot better.
I'd have just done like a big fucking brawl or something, man. And
yeah,
like, have Darby coffin drop off one of the stands and fucking make it all dramatic and shit. I don't know, man. Just do something exciting. You know,
they should have put MJF off guard here. They needed something dynamic going into the paper.
Yeah, something exciting, 100%.
I don't think you want to set that precedent of like your baby face is just ganging up on the heel. I mean, I don't know, before like
it's self-preservation though, isn't it? Like none of them want MJF as champion. Like they're working together in this moment just to get to the pay-per-view because of like if he goes into the pay-per-view weekend, that's a benefit for them. Like
and,
I don't know.
You know, with wrestling being wrestling, like the three baby faces teaming up and wanting the heel to drop the title is then going to cause problems between those three baby faces as they disagree about how they go about it within the match and in said brawl or whatever setup that we're going to do. I don't know, man, but like Charlie said, just something a bit more dynamic, exciting would have been not really appreciated by myself at least. I know Dynamite's not booked exclusively for me, but that would be nice. But yeah, man, like Joe said as well, I don't think this really sold anyone who wasn't already sold on this match if this is the match that is dictating whether they're going to buy the pay-per-view or not, you know. Anyway, next up, we had Taya Valkyrie.
The chat always points out that when one of us says in it.
Listen, bro.
Always pops me.
We're fucking British. No.
It slips out. What do you want from me? I don't even realise.
Yeah, it's hard for us British people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Manny, he's right.
PJ and Rob did it to me in a group chat earlier. It was just like, I don't know what you want me to say.
It's not. I say it with pride. You know, I'm on here. I've got a British Brummy accent, one of the worst you can have. And you see, Joe hears it. You know, as weirdly though, some of our US friends don't hear it; they just hear Brit. You know.
Yeah.
But my accent is nothing to be super proud of, people. You know, but I'm on here. I do fucking 500 podcasts a week, and I don't give a shit. So you're gonna listen to it. This is the sound that's blessing your ears on this Thursday evening. And we're going to talk about Lady Frost versus Taya Valkyrie.
Montel has like a Gordon Ramsay kind of voice, you know, like you hear when he's cooking videos.
No. Ignore that completely. Yeah, just...
Our friends in the States, they don't hear the different accents. You know,
it's crazy to me. But anyway.
Peaky Blinder. Absolutely. Lady Frost versus Taya Valkyrie, man. Lady Frost is like she's athletically like impressive, you know. There's still I feel like there's still some things that she's kind of like putting together, you know. Taya is, you know, Taya's alright, man. I like Taya, I always have. But yeah, this was, you know, Jay Cargill comes out, she's watching on the ramp and stuff. More and more people are starting to think that Taya might actually be the one to beat Jade because the way that Jay is kind of spinning her wheels. I'm like Joe, shaking my head, kind of. I'm not convinced, but Yeah, this match is on Sunday, I believe, isn't it? They have put this on the pay-per-view, haven't they? So,
Yes.
Yeah, not the most exciting, in-depth build, but you know. Oh shit!
Another fellow Brit is here.
You might be insulted by that.
It's fucking Big AO, innit, bro? I'm here to talk bloody graps.
He is, man. Yeah. Hey, have you came to make a big announcement or shout at us about something? Or you here? Or are you just here?
Nah, I'm just vibing, bro. Go ahead with the show.
Man. And we're talking about Lady Frost versus Taya Valkyrie. You came at the perfect time.
Bro, why didn't they let her get her flips in?
Yeah.
It wasn't really laid up to Lady Frost's strengths.
Yeah.
Really.
I thought this was after the Sabu stuff. I mean, I'm kind of like thrown off now.
Look at
the Sabu stuff was
chat, bro.
It was before Roddy, right? Remember?
Yeah, now I remember.
This was I thought this was a pretty jarring like clash of styles. I thought they struggled a bit, unfortunately. I like Lady Frost, and I would like to see her get another shot. I think her Ring of Honor shines have been pretty impressive. This was less so, unfortunately. I'm not sure about the Taya Valkyrie project. I just don't like. I'm sure there's a role for her to play, but I certainly don't think that role is beating Jade Cargill, like at all. I get being kind of like bored of the Jade thing. I'm not interested, but let's take it easy on the Taya Valkyrie beating her. I think that's crazy.
You've waited this long. Just wait for Stat, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I think there's a real opportunity to do a title versus title program with Willow and Jade Cargill.
Yeah, that's
like
also
he just
a way
landed
to
in TK's lap, so that's how you know he's not going to do it. But I don't know, man. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yes, that's a great idea as well, to be honest. So.
I really wanted Willow to be the one to beat Jade like months ago. So if they ran that again and she finally beat her, I'd be more than happy.
She beat Mercedes.
With that as well. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I know the circumstances and stuff, but at the end of the day, the history books will say that Willow Nightingale defeated Mercedes Renee for the inaugural New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Mm-hmm. So good for her,
It's quite the accolade.
And like I said I think it was Worldwide on Monday, when we was kind of talking about like how she got the title. Super unfortunate circumstances and stuff, but if anyone's going to be the beneficiary of it, like Willow is probably pretty high on the list because everyone loves Willow, you know what I mean? It was great to see her get that moment, and like the video package later on in the show where like she's just great,
Well, TK did say he picture specifically for the match, so that's pretty cool. I mean, if TK has that kind of hope for you and all that, I mean, you're going to go places, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully a sign of continued faith that TK has in her, Alright, next up, Tony Khan announces the United Center for the debut of AEW Collision in Chicago. There was some talk, whispers, rumors that then got debunked about Daly's place, but it was weird last week when the venue wasn't announced for the debut show. Obviously, there was questions asked. Those questions have now been answered. It's also since been reported that CM Punk is expected to be there, which was pretty much well known and obvious anyway. And it has been also reported. Man, fucking it looks like CM Punk as fucking and Tony Khan seem to be in like a good position with each other, and they're selling tickets for this United Center thing, man. And that was the big announcement, like one of the more obvious announcements in AEW history, But United Center, sell some tickets, and hopefully they can. Nice, nice, man, nice. They didn't call it the Second Coming.
No, yeah.
What's going on? My pop. What about my pop, Joe?
I think you'll get it. I do think you buried the lead a little bit. I feel like the actual headline here was that Tony Khan blinked twice.
Man, he's just over there molesting his mic.
It's crazy.
No, it fell. What do you guys want me to do? Monty predicted this was going to happen too.
Don't drop it. Tony Khan blinked. He blinked twice in this segment, which I believe is a new personal record for Tony Khan.
He's scary. He's scary when he does these he's scary when he does these announcements, bro.
But yeah, I mean, I will say genuinely, I was not sure about the ticket thing. Like, legitimately, I wasn't, because it's just so much has happened. And it's like, I don't know at this point, you know.
There you go, Joe. You're questioning his Observer Hall of Fame status, bro. I mean, he's a draw. I mean, what do you want to do? He's moving tickets. I mean,
I love that. That's what I'm questioning. That's the most important thing that I'm questioning there.
He's one of the last true draws in this wrestling business, and he's coming in here, and he's gonna sell out the United Center again on a rumor. I mean, it is what it is.
Very impressive.
It's not a fucking rumor.
The Elite ain't gonna do it too. I mean, come on, bro. I mean.
It is a rumor.
It is a rumor. Nobody knows he's going to be there or not.
No, it's not announced, but yeah.
Nobody knows.
Bro, you have Cody King twerking on the timeline. Whoa, straight edgeness rules. Grown ass man, father of two.
Hey, man, he should.
Father of two.
Hey, man.
But yeah,
he's straight edge. I mean, what's wrong with that? It's a good
thing. I was gonna just do this as like a subject by itself, like, you know, the Punk being set to return, the report of it actually, you know, being reported that he is coming, and also, you know, Punk selling tickets, bro. He's selling tickets, and like Joe said, like, he did kind of like question it. So much has happened, and there's been so much discourse, and you know, there's a lot of like loud anti-Punk stuff, you know, and you know, you don't know what's gonna. I guess it would be fair. Like, I don't think Joe's crazy for being not skeptical of how the tickets would go. We all knew they would sell some tickets, you know. It's Punk, of course, but
yeah, I didn't think it'd be a failure. It's just it looks to be trending really positively. So
yeah, it looks like they're going to sell out on the majority of the, you know, the majority of what's available. Like, even just looking at the ticket map now from 4 hours ago, yeah, it's not exactly fucking. There's not exactly a vast array of seats left, you know. There's a couple.
I was gonna say, last I saw they'd sold like 4,000 tickets.
It's
Wait, what?
They've set up for. I don't know. WrestleTix hasn't actually tweeted the exact numbers of what of what's actually left. Just ticket maps, but people have estimated like how many, because the whole, as far as I can tell, the whole thing isn't open. I don't think.
They're in. Was that general sale or pre-sale? That was general sale, right?
Pre-sale.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I just woke up, saw the news, and I sent it to Monty right away. And I said, "A real star."
So general sale is tomorrow. But yeah, basically the point is, Punk sells tickets. He sold thousands of tickets for that event. You'd assume that the Collision tickets will probably go up as well. WrestleTix did tweet before the Collision announcement in United Center what the Collision tickets are currently standing at for the other shows. So I guess when he does the next update in like a few days or in a week or so, you will actually see kind of the movement, you know, like around the country for Punk as a draw, you know, and how many tickets he's moved.
I'm telling you guys now, man. If I were you Canadian folks, man, if I were you, get your tickets now before they raise the prices up even more. I'm telling y'all.
Heard it here first.
The Hoopers told you.
Manny, remember to plug the general sale as your, you know, when we close there and Monty asks you have any plugs. Remember to do that. Important for your brand, I feel.
But for what?
And I'm going to ask for
Go on, Charlie.
Later.
I'm just happy there's a light at the end of the tunnel of all this fucking shit, man, because it's been going on forever and a day at this point, and I'm just so ready for it to be over. Just get it, like, we know he's coming, just get him back on TV. Like, I don't care. And also, shout out Tiger Style, Julian, for the really fucking cool edit job, though, because that edit was fucking incredible.
Y'all fucked with that edit? That was fire to you?
Hey, yo, I saw your reply. Don't do this.
I don't, like, what is it?
You conceded.
Was I hacked? Did someone hack my reply and say something?
I think so.
Julian, send it my way. I haven't seen it, so send it my way.
It's a very good.
Shout out to man. He's very fucking talented.
He's very quick with it as well, which is something I really. That's something I always appreciate with, like, I know I'm fucking maybe doing a bit much now. You know, we're just doing like, Tog Style, shout out him, but like, something I really like about him was that. But there's loads of good editors and shit out there. People that can like stitch videos together and stuff like that. But like he's really good at being like current and stuff with it and being like quick with stuff, you know.
It had the audio from last night's announcement was in there like immediately. It was fucking insane.
Yeah,
like, he's an animal, bro. He's built different, you know. Built different.
Also, look at the Thunder Rosa edit he made and replied to me with because it was fucking hilarious.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
I actually legitimately didn't see that one.
No, me either.
No, because I added him in a tweet. I was just like, you know what to do because of Thunder Rosa's part in one of the Collision videos looked like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare, and it's all I could think about it. Julian edited it, and it was just fucking comical.
Yo, what are they cooking with Rosa? Like, if she can't wrestle,
who knows?
And you know, nobody. I think even Rosa's biggest fans aren't really here to like watch her, hear her promo. So, like, what's she about to be doing on Saturdays?
I don't know, man. I think it's just one of those things where, in like the press release and in the promo, it's good to have her on it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine, according to reports, her back is still fucked, you know? So,
contemplating surgery at this point, bro.
Shout out my boy Andrade. You know, he brought the mask back. We're ready to ride.
Do you think they're going to really lean into the, like, you know, the sort of promotions outlaws deal? Because there are some people in these promotions who, like, it feels like they're making an active point of, like, remember this guy? You know, like, they ain't been around. Here they are.
Scorpio Sky, bro.
Right. Yeah.
We talked about that before the podcast.
Less school, but, like, that feels like you're actively saying to the audience, like, this is the place where, I don't want to say misfits, but, like, you know, guys who've not been around. And it's just, I don't know if they're going to lean into that. They kind of hinted at that with the deal of Rosa and Miro going into Tony's office. That was the setup, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the promotion material is hilarious because it's like, a certain group of people, and then Samoa Joe, who's just like, I'm there, you know? It'll be fun. It's Saturdays. So,
Joe's just around to punch people in the face.
Yeah, it's cool.
Joe's just there because Punk must have been adamant about wanting in there, you know? But yeah, there's definitely that kind of feel in certain parts of the promoting of this show, so.
Joe does feel like a big fight night guy, you know, Saturday nights, you know.
It's also... I think it's the Ring of Honor thing too, right? I think because Tony really likes having him on that brand specifically. So Saturdays he can do both on occasion, and so that would be part of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, for whatever it's worth, the report from Meltzer was on the F4W website. It says Meltzer is reporting that a final meeting between Punk and AEW head Tony Khan went well, and that there are a number of other issues worked out, including an agreement that nobody will speak public on the brawl after All Out last year. When it comes to Ace Steel, Meltzer said Steel has been under a deal for many weeks and that he will be working from home as part of the arrangement. Steel, a long-time friend of Punk, was fired after his role in the aforementioned fight while Omega and the Bucks were suspended. Steel's return to the company is believed to have been a sticking point that arose last week and caused Punk's name and image being removed from the Collision announcement at the WBD upfront. But yeah, it's you know, Dave was very, very speculative and kind of painting this picture, but it was like, it's all up in the air, you know. And then I think it was like late last night, like an hour before Dynamite, Brian Alvarez tweeted like whatever the tweet was, and it was just basically the effect of like, oh well, guess what? There's no problems or something like that, and. It's like, oh yeah, because you know.
I know that won't pop you, Monty.
But I was just like, you know.
I was like, the rumor that I started and me alone. It looks like it's not happening.
Oh man, they've had an interesting week, that pair of, you know. Anyway, we're not in the business we're not in the slander business around here, you know.
Shout out to Cousin Brian.
Big fans, always a subscriber, you know. Anyway, next up in AEW Dynamite, we had a Hangman promo. He was fired up. He's always fired up at the moment, you know. He's back in the Elite. Personally, I would have liked something a bit more. I don't know, just a bit more significant. I know that like they've done like the big angle after the main event match and stuff, but like the Elite have just joined back together, and like Hangman's just doing like a 30-second pre-tape, you know. Look, it was a good promo as well, but it's just You know.
No. Wait,
what more?
You're talking about the Hangman promo, right?
Yes.
Monty, come on, say what you really thought, man. I mean,
before you do that, we missed the BCC one, right? Didn't we miss? Wasn't there pre-tape?
Oh yeah.
Where was that? Because I've not got it written down. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. This is to pop up, but it's not.
This is important, to add context to this Hangman promo. The BCC came out, they said we want blood, we're gonna kill everybody out there. It was some beast stuff, especially because Moxley doesn't miss on these promos. It was intimidating. And then Bryan Danielson was doing his like American Psycho kind of stuff, where you're just like, oh, he's serious about this stuff, and then you get to Hangman over here where these guys are talking about murdering you on pay-per-view, and then you got Hangman. Oh yeah, guys, I'm best friends with my guys again. Like, come on, Hangman, they took your fucking eye out, bro. I don't care about your friends.
I feel like you didn't listen to the program.
You really didn't listen to the program.
You didn't listen to it.
You are painting this in a light that is
He saw Hangman and just decided that's what he said.
I heard
he saw Hangman. He's like, you know what? I assume this is what he said.
No, I was on Discord. I heard him say something about, I'm glad I'm friends with this guys, and I shut it off. I said, fuck.
No.
All right, Charlie.
Charlie, explain this to us, man. Explain this to us.
So he did make reference to the fact that the Elite have all joined up again. Shut up, Maddie.
I know I'm not crazy. I know what I heard.
He was saying that him and Kenny were never friends really back in the day, but like that they're family, and family always comes back together. And then he was saying how they shut up, Maddie. I can see you.
What is this, Fast and the Furious? Come on, bro.
Oh my god. He was saying how the BCC have racked up a long list of like shit against them and receipts they need to get, and they're going to be the ones to draw the first blood in the Anarchy in the Arena. I think if you actually listen to the promo, you would like it.
It was really good.
I mean,
and he made
Manny just gets fucking Hangman PTSD ever since he tore down his fraudulent fucking hero Punk. Ever since that promo where Punk was just stumbling over his words, just cried all over the mic when Hangman handed it back over to him. Man, he sees Hangman Page, he just pisses his fucking Pampers. I get it, Manny. Crybaby ass nigga.
Bro, I like Hangman. I feel like
no, you don't.
Monty, what I say in the DMs, I like Hangman. I just feel like the Elite hold him back, And then we came to the conclusion that, well, yeah, Hangman rules, but nobody cares about him if he's not with
the Elite. Hold him back, but this is the most relevant he's been on AEW TV in a long while.
I just said that he's not good on his own. He has to be with the Elite.
So how is that?
Hold on, because I actually get what Manny's getting at. Like, he prefers, like, in terms of like just individually watching someone wrestle, like, he prefers Hangman on his own, away from like the friends law, blah blah blah, and he's just kind of a kick-ass fucking cowboy that hits people hard.
Well,
but when he's in one of those phases, when Hangman's in one of those phases away from the Elite sort of thing, I think it's pretty fair to say that the crowd investment is just different. It just is, even when he's still over, the investment's different, because like Hangman's character, like his arc is always like, he's like the, he has like self-confidence issues and stuff like that. He's been an alcoholic. Like, he's really relatable, and you want to see him like win. And it's almost like, I don't know, part of me feels like his reign actually should have been like shorter, and like it should have had like this tragic ending, and it should have been like snatched away from him, and then it's like rebuilding up, and he has to rebuild his confidence again, and you're doing that story again. Because like when he was champ, and he's like,
it's something really spiteful.
Am I out of my fucking mind? Was Hangman getting the biggest pops of the night during the one-on-one feud with Mox?
This is true. Yes.
Like, what am I smoking crack? Every time when he was feuding with John Moxley, it had nothing to do with the Elite. He was getting the pops of the night.
Cowboy shit.
Yeah, he's still great. I'm not saying that people don't care about him, but the investment, even if the pops are still there, the investment from the crowd is just like different. Like the people want to see him like with his friends and that. Like, I don't know, man. This is so. It don't compare. Like Hangman coming back and reuniting with the Elite That's what people want to see from Hangman, if that makes sense. Like those sort of big moments with the Elite, you know.
Well, they wanted to see the storyline finished, yeah.
Yeah, of course, that's what I mean. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what Hangman's story kind of is like this arc of like friendship and ups and downs and blah blah blah. And, like, finally getting to the top. It's like when he's detached from that. Like, he's still great. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, he's no good when he's without or anything like that. Like, he's still great, and there is definitely an argument like what Manny has that he's even better in some respects. But it's just all I'm saying is that the investment is different. No one cares about FTR, they only care about the theme. Why are they going for Hall? But like,
jokes on you, AK. That was more of a shot at Joe, and Joe likes Hangman. So
this has been an incredible piece of audio because Manny has got us via not watching a promo. He's got
us debating each other for over a promo he didn't watch.
We're reassessing like Hangman and Page as a wrestler because of a good promo cut.
Oh no, he's great.
We got fucking hoopered. All four of us got hoopered.
A lot of what happened with Hangman over the summer wouldn't have happened if Tony Khan didn't decide to have a glory run and cause all these problems. So
he has been
trending
in the right direction. To be fair to Ayo's point, he's been trending in the right direction pretty clearly since Moxley made a point of, I'm going to bring Hangman back up to where he should be. He made a point of that, right? And they had that extended program as one of the best programs AEW's ever done in terms of match quality. And that directly transitioned to this. It's not like Hangman is like a supporting character in this Elite feud. He's the reason this feud started. You know, this all goes back to Hangman. So it's like, I don't know. I think there's been times to kind of question where Hangman's at, but I think the last however long it's been now, 6 months, I think he's been back where he needs to be. So I don't know.
And that's what I mean. Like, that's what kind of what I don't want to get lost in this, and where it kind of got to like over explaining just now, where it's like I don't want people to think that I'm like, oh, Hangman, like, oh, they need to do something better with him, blah blah blah. I'm just saying that like the crowd investment is definitely different when he's with the Elite than when he's not with them, and neither of them's bad. They're both good, and the people always love Hangman. It's just, you know, the Elite stuff is kind of like his. You know, he's, I don't know what he is, his specialty, whatever you want to call it, you know, he's
it was a good promo anyway.
I said it. Well, yeah, man, you should probably watch it back, you know.
That was yesterday. Everybody moving on to next week.
He made a reference. The Bucks had something in their bio the other day that was like,
the Bucks.
The last time we told this story, we knew how it would end. And Hangman made a reference to that. I can't remember what he said exactly, but it was just like, we don't know where this story's going, or something like to that like effect. So they're doing lore stuff again, so that's fun for people
I appreciated that he got solo promo time, because I think a lot of what we're talking about here would be undone if like he's back in the Elite, but you don't need to just have him like slot in as just like a a part of a group situation where they're all talking to get like. I think it was good to give the Hangman character solo promo time. Where is he at right now? What's he looking? What's happening on Sunday for him individually? Because you don't want to lose that. I mean, the pop with the Elite coming back is great, and it's great they're back together. But he still needs to be an individual, and I think this promo allowed that. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he, that Hangman fella?
I think so.
A few super chats real quick. We'll flow through them. Bam, he's on fire tonight, mate. $5. He says, when MJF Punk feud starts, will MJF be face on Dynamite and heel on Collision? Will Dynamite live fans see him as a face since he's there and no CM Punk? I don't think so. Sounds very confusing, Bam.
My God, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Ariel 199, not even 900k. Lol. SmackDown Friday, Night of Champions Saturday. Yeah, man.
Keep interviewing Hulk Hogan.
That was
incredible. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Darren Cagey with the shot. Darren Cagey, $2. Generational coping by Monty over Hangman. I was putting him over, bro. If that's coping, you need to brush up on those comprehension skills, brother. I was putting him over.
Whatever happened to Walker?
Darren
Walker.
Oh, I don't know. He's not Darren Cagey though. He's not got a new gimmick.
Yeah.
Darren Walker was sending us pounds, brother. That real great British style. Ayo, you want to take this one?
Oh, Ricky Stars, $2 super chat. Cause someone tell Ibu I still have his trench coat. Yeah, Monty will get right on that.
You know what kills me? You don't just do the voice, like he puts a lisp on it as well.
Why do you put a lisp on it?
That's how Ricky talks.
Really? Oh man, I don't even listen to him. So
Yeah, man. That's how Snoozy sounds.
I believe that much, Manny.
What's going on? Manny, Charlotte. Where you gone?
Sorry. I was checking something.
Manny hiding. What are you doing here, mate?
Because it's for the next super chat.
Bam, $5. Again, appreciate that. No, Hangman title run was ruined because TK was more invested in his favourite broken toy.
It's true.
Still his most expensive toy.
Well, I mean,
broken
man, you see how happy he was announcing that yesterday. I mean, look, man, this guy's
he did
happy.
not look happy. He looked scared.
Well, that's his happy face.
I know y'all heard that spattering of boos during that announcement. There was a big pop, but then there was some boos. I know y'all heard that.
Yeah, wishful thinking.
What? Alright, now I gotta go get the audio.
He's gonna crop out the "Let's go Punk" chants, you know. But you know, it is what
Crop
it is.
them out.
Media.
Real quick, Griff $4.99. Sorry you had to go through that elite law disrespect, Charlie and AL.
Appreciate you,
Griff. Manny just being like,
Shout out, Griff. From the brand.
It was a good moment, you know.
It was.
Manny being informed about what was actually said on the promo we just reviewed, you know.
It wasn't disrespect. It was like a dialogue, you know, like a discussion.
I got a little bit heated. It's alright.
See, this is what debates are for.
Mm-hmm.
Lamora, $5. Appreciate it. Is there anything that you would add to or change about the Owen tournament to make it more interesting this year?
A bunch of fucking things.
Almost everything.
Also, who would be interesting?
Last year it was like bare bones. Like, it had good wrestling matches, but there was no like intricacy to where they presented it on TV at all.
It was literally a tournament in like the most minimal, definite sense of the word. Like it was just like, here are some matches and kind of a bracket. We're not announcing the names beforehand, so if I feel like I want a match here or a match there, I could just plug it in. Like that shit was.
I would have like a stand by the ring with the trophy on it, some flowers, white and purple ropes, some hearts on the mats. You know, just
everybody in the ring beforehand. An actual bracket this year.
Everybody gets flowers before the start of the tournament, like you're watching soccer. You know.
When's the final? Sorry, my bad. When is the final? Do we know when yet?
The Prudential Center.
15th of July.
Okay.
Something like that.
It'd be nice if they like dedicated an episode and it was like the finals, you know, and you had like the semi-final. Yeah, I don't know, something.
I would like them to play national anthems before every match, you know, for the respected competitors.
All right, let's leave it there. That's enough suggestions.
Maybe I'm invested in Super Juniors too much, but I do like round
national anthem. Mind you, this is a Canadian.
Canada.
Honestly,
Canada. I don't know the rest of it. I just know that starts with that.
Yeah, you don't need to. But yeah, obviously, in terms of presentation, it'd be cool if they done like the whole lot opening ceremony thing like they do in Japan a lot. That would be cool. The big trophy, as Manny mentioned, being ringside. Stuff Joe mentioned about doing like a dedicated episode to the final or finals. All these things, bro. I know Ibu was banging on a lot about last year about like the lighting and like the fucking canvas and you know like, all those kind of things, the ropes. Just make it different, bro. Just make it feel special. Make it feel like once a year this is different and this is what you're gonna do with it, and it makes it feel like it means something, etc., etc. It's got Owen's name attached to it as well, which gives it like a level of prestige and like real like care and respect about it, you know. So yeah, like when it first got announced, like they done the press release that they were gonna do the Owen, like there was so much excitement, bro. There was so much excitement and so much like anticipation of what they would do, and as AO and Joe were talking about, like they didn't really do quite a lot with it. So, you know, there's definitely more steps that they can take with it this year.
Yeah.
Open ceremony is a double or nothing, isn't it? Yes, I think they did say that actually.
Yeah, but a proper one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. They should unveil the bracket.
David Michael Harwood, Dax Harwood of FTR $2. At Ricky, why do you have Ricky's Why do you have Ricky's trench coat? I think he's meant to say, but you messed up your bit, bro. You messed up your bit. Anyway.
A blown bit. A blown bit. I can relate, brother. It happens to me.
Ayo.
At Dax. That's for you to know and I to never find out. I think you messed that bit up too.
Yeah, we did.
Y'all just dropping the ball. Oh, that's for us to know and I to never find. That's still
wrong. Yeah,
still
wrong.
Yeah. You do that voice really good.
Thank you.
Bam, $5. Appreciate you again. I swear, if it comes out that Ricky didn't want to put over White clean, like he didn't want to put over Swerve, I will become what I sent to group chat. Ayo.
Well, that sounds like that does sound like real grabs. I'm sorry.
When someone calls on AO when talking about being slanderous, it's always very scary. You know.
Look, man.
That's cool when superstars do it, but Ricky, come on, bro.
Me and Manny been trying to tell you about Snoozy Starks for months and months now.
Well, I understand that. I acknowledge that, but it's kind of objectively, it's kind of real graps if a guy just goes, nope, not doing it. You know, it's kind of awesome. I understand. It's like you're not a fan of the guy. I get it. I respect it. Concede, but like getting to TV and being told to finish, going, well, maybe not.
Then if I was Jay. If I'm Jay
White, what has Ricky done to be able to say that?
Be like, no, I can't job to this guy. Like, who are you, bro?
Like in this situation, it should be the other way around because Jay White's done so much more than Ricky Starks.
If I'm Jay White, I throw my replica IWGP title on the desk. I say, bro, look.
Well, that would be
just ordered one off of New Japan World.
Just rocking up with it.
I sold out the Tokyo Dome and MSG. What has this guy done?
Look, I'm not here.
Center.
I'm not trying to relitigate Ricky Starks debates. I'm not trying to debate Ricky or Jay. I'm simply saying that when a professional wrestler refuses to do a job, about 80% of me is like, well, that sounds pretty fucking awesome, honestly. I'm sorry.
A real worker.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm consistent on that. You will not hear me get mad about. I was a pretty big Miro fan. Someone said he didn't do a job. I said, honey, I buy a t-shirt or something, man. This guy's really. So that's anyway.
You're an animal. All right, next up we had Adam Cole, Chris Jericho contract signing.
Oh, hold on, Monty. Put up that super chat. I need to nail that one in the butt before it even spreads.
Nail that one in the butt.
Nail it in the butt.
That's not the term, but it's nip it in the bud.
Bud, brother. Wow.
Nail that one in the butt.
He's misunderstanding of common phrases really catching him tonight, man. He's really getting him.
I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Peace.
See ya. This has been an all-time.
This guy, I already messed it up, man.
Well, you can't even reply because the super chat's here now. 199 Hooper, you talk like that right now, but you're still in my DMs from Ricky Starks.
I have Ricky Starks blocked, you know. There's no way I'm in those DMs anyways.
Darren Cage, you $2. Appreciate it. Refusing to do the job rules unless it's Starcade 97.
Here's a problem. Being objective, that's still kind of rules, but that is an extreme example. I would recommend, if a wrestler asks me, try not to do the no job deal after an 18-month build. Generally, there are certain occasions you should probably just do business, but that is an extreme one. I will say, I'll concede on that. That's a pretty tough one to defend.
All right, before Manny done some great performance art, which he always does. Adam Cole, Jericho contract signing. They both come out with the crew. With Adam Cole, this just means Roddy Strong, but Jericho had all these boys there, and they get down and get down to business, and they're cutting the promos, and they're going back and forth, pretty much echoing a lot of what's already been said in this feud. But it was good stuff, nonetheless. It did pop me seeing Roddy kind of just standing. I messaged Joe, just look at Roddy, man, and I knew Joe would see it. Like, he's not the only other person that would see these fucking things. Yeah, you can tell that Roddy don't know what to do with his hands and shit, and he's just standing there, and I'm just popping away at it, and it's nothing to do with actually what I'm meant to be focusing on the TV. But yeah, man, they get into it and they almost come to blows with like a brawl and stuff like that. And then Adam Cole gets on the mic and, Jericho's like, oh, well, there's 5 of us and there's only 2 of you. And Adam Cole's like, wow, putting a call to, and he was building him up. And, bro, I had no idea what he was about to drop, When he said homicidal, I thought, well, maybe it's him, And then he was like suicidal, crazy, all this other shit as well. And I was like, okay. Had no idea what was about to happen, And out comes fucking ECW God. Sabu.
You could have given me 100 guesses, and I never would have got to Sabu. I was like, what the fuck?
I was really happy to see him get a payday, Yeah. I think it was X-Pac Sean Waltman tweeted like, no one has put more into wrestling and got less out of it than Sabu. I'm sure there's obviously a lot of people that have come into the conversation because wrestling has been quite an ugly business over the years when it comes to shit like that. But Sabu is definitely one of those guys, So like I said, it was really nice seeing him get a payday. Got a really big pop, and he's fucking Sabu, man. And he's going to be involved in the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. He's going to be the... They said on the show that he's going to be in Adam Cole's corner, and then on the graphic, it's like he's going to be the enforcer. Yeah, so what is he? Is he on Adam Cole's side, or is he in the middle? What are we doing here?
I think the idea is more that Cole has got him to ensure there will be no shenanigans with JS and stuff. I think is the idea.
It's funny. I wonder what Sabu and Adam Cole talk about on the side. That's all I kept thinking
Sabu is my favorite member of Undisputed Era.
I hope Sabu does his moonsault or whatever he does.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking, bro. I know he's absolutely beat down at this point. He's got it. But he's crazy. He always has been crazy, bro. And I would not be. I'd be slightly surprised if he did do a big spot or some shit. So it's Sabu, man. Yeah, it's Sabu, man. It's Sabu. That's enough said. We don't have to go into who Sabu is. I'm sure most of the people watching are well aware of who he is, or at least the legend of who Sabu is. Like I said, big part, cool moment, took me by surprise. I think it surprised everyone, and it was nice to see a legend get a payday, man. 2 paydays because he's going to be on Double or Nothing as well. So.
Yeah. When he started building up, I was just like, Kyle O'Reilly. And then he was just started talking about homicide or suicide. I was just like, who the fuck is this? And then it was Sabu, and I was like, I never would have got that.
I thought it was gonna be 50 Tom Lawler, but
I thought because when he said local and he said someone I was like he grew up watching, I thought it was gonna be I'm Mike Tyson, and I was convinced this is gonna be the case for about 5 seconds because Mike and Jericho they've had their
yeah.
It was not I'm Mike Tyson.
Adam Cole doesn't seem like the boxing kind of type, It just.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Esports fighting.
It's just a promo, man. I don't know, but it's a pretty good contract signing. I thought this program has been really solid. I thought.
Yeah.
It's not to me. It's nothing crazy dynamic or I can't wait to see this match. But I think it's been really steady, and it's 2 guys who are, know what they're doing and are both super over, and I think they've done a nice job with it. Again, I think in 2 years, anyone's gonna be saying, "Man, you remember that build for?" But I do think they've done a nice job of getting this thing where it needs to be. I'm not convinced, even with the stipulation. I'm not convinced that this is done on Sunday. I think that result is in question. I'm just not sure, but we'll see.
It's
Are we saying the name? I'm confused. What's going on in chat right now?
What's happened?
Apparently, the way we say Sabu is weird.
Well, it's more Sabu.
Sabu.
I feel like the essays
on the right letters.
Charlie, sounds like you're saying Shabu.
Sabu. Am I saying it wrong now?
It must be
I think I'm putting emphasis on the U and not the A.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Technical things.
Sorry,
folks,
I was just
reading the chat. The fundamentals of podcasting that we go through.
The technicalities,
Sabu.
Echoing kind of what Joe said, to be honest, I think a lot of people were worried, when Adam Cole came back, he's first few Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho he's had some really big hits, and he's had some kind of misses, and he's had some segments specifically that have been really big misses. And obviously there's that classic criticism of Jericho, especially in AEW, of his feuds going too long, blah, blah, blah. People wanted to see Adam Cole get back and on fire sort of thing. So, like I said, there was kind of like a lot of worry, when this feud looked like it was taking shape. But as Joe said, they've not fumbled it at any step, and there's been some cool matches, like Roddy versus Jericho, something that I'll remember for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Roddy versus Daniel Garcia was fucking awesome last night.
Don't get me started, Montel. I mean that.
We're getting it very soon. Charlie, you got anything you want to add about the contract signing? And
I thought it was a good segment.
Sabu.
Like, the build for this has just been easy to watch each week, which we kind of take for granted in wrestling sometimes. Like, it hasn't been like standout, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's not meant to be like the key match on the pay-per-view. But I think it's been good. I enjoyed it. The segment last night was pretty good.
Absolutely. Right. Manny, you can cook now, my brother. Roddy Strong versus Daniel Garcia, starting off with a real graps lockup,
Bro,
real shit, brother.
That was some real shit, bro. And I just bro, I they have a better match in them, because I don't know how long this match was. Maybe like less than like 7 minutes, right?
I think it was around.
It felt like they were in like phase 2 of like a
It was awesome. The lock up to the groundwork where everything just looked snug, and they started chopping each other. And then I'm pretty sure Roddy does it all the time, but like, the way he ducked under Garcia's chops, like quick to counter. You're watching a pro work, and I said this guy's at another level compared to everybody else on the show beforehand. And everybody felt like they were sleepwalking through everything, but Roddy's an animal. He wasn't gonna let anybody else sleepwalk through Dynamite, and him and Garcia just tore it up. I need to see a rematch. It might be in Receipt. No, Receita's not around anymore. It might be the Globe Theater next time they have it, but I need them to go long, and I need them to have a good world title match, because this is just some legendary stuff between the two. And Roddy took a bump on I think it was during commercials, to the floor, and he didn't have to. He just did it because he said, fuck it. I mean, this guy's just a straight animal. Here you go, Joe. I'm passing it to you.
Yeah, this was proper graps, as you said. I think you laid it out pretty much perfectly, mate. I mean, they had around 8 minutes, and they're not going to go out there and try and have like this match of the year candidate, because that wasn't their role on the show, nor did they have the time to do so. But the absolute quality of the work here was like immense. Like everything, as you say, everything was tight, snug, and sharp. Garcia went back and forth with Roddy just enough to make it competitive, but didn't just fucking stand there and trade shots with him all day, because that kills Roddy's gimmick, right? Like on one of the chops, Garcia just felt with his back, because that's the point. Because the kid, he understands wrestling, he gets it, and Roddy is just. Honestly, I'm not sure there's a great wrestler who's less fun to wrestle than Roddy. It must be unbearable. He's all over you. I mean, he's like a rash. He was just charging at Garcia. In the ad break, he was clobbering him with chops. And
he gave him a dick chop.
He did. It was quite the deal. And his engine is still outrageous, which is crazy after all the time he had off before this little comeback here he's having. And he looks better than ever, honestly. So, really good match. I don't say this very often, but these two had such immediate chemistry that these two probably have a 45 and beyond length match that I would enjoy. And there's not many guys I would say about, but I think these two fellas could, for example, I'm not talking about AEW necessarily here, folks, but if at the Globe Theatre for a PWG, I think these guys go nearly an hour, and I think they would have a match that's worthy at that time. This is just a snapshot. You got to remember that, right? It's a different kind of deal. But.
Joe, I don't know if you thought, when I saw this matchup being announced yesterday, for some reason I thought Garcia was going to play like the Punk part you remember the Punk match they had in ROH? Where he was running from the top. Yeah. I thought they were going to do that for a bit, or Garcia was, but no, man. He took the first chop and then just started exchanging with them, and I was just like, it's cool, because it was something different than I thought he was going to do. Because
he's walking that balance right now, right, Garcia, where it's like he's making it very clear to the audience what he's capable of as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But he's continually trying to sprinkle this sports entertainment business in, and every time he does it, it backfires. But he's convinced this is the way to go, and he wants to be more than he wants to be right. He wants to prove the people wrong about it, and it's really good stuff. Again, like, let me be clear, folks. I'm not saying it's like a classic match or anything. It's like, but it's rock solid, and it's the work is so high level. So it's worth noting. Go ahead, man.
No, I say this is the match. Like I said, this isn't like a classic or whatever. But this is the kind of match people are going to look back when Garcia is developing or when he's a future main eventer for this company. They're going to go back to matches like this and say, like, look, see, he had the fundamentals to do where he is at now, and this is all just leading to his future spot in the position he's going to be in.
It also, to your credit, I dismissed Manny when he brought this up. You know, obviously he's not going to win. I'm not being silly but it genuinely feels like with these 3 wins, you could actually steal a TV main event with him and Max, Roddy and Max. I honestly think you could do that at this point. He beat Jericho last week. He beat Garcia decisively, right? Like with no doubt about it, beat him with his finish. So again, folks, I get that, you know, it wouldn't be a 50. I know, like on the mic, Roddy can't do anything with Max and so on and so forth. But as a TV main event for one of their specials, whatever it may be, I think that'd be pretty fun personally. So I would like to see that. And if not that,
they could do it.
Claudio and Roddy
they could definitely do it as well in a way of like spilling into the Adam Cole stuff.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that Tony doesn't really give guys when they sign them right out. I was gonna say he doesn't really give these guys pushes like this right out the back after he signs them, and I'm kind of interested to see what he's cooking up with Roddy because I mean nobody just goes 3-0 in AEW without a reason for it.
That's a good point by Monty. If we believe Cole is next for Max at the pay-per-view, which I think is a very fair guess at this point, it would make sense as a bridge. I agree with you completely. But anyway, Manny and I have talked enough. Charlie, what did you think of the Roderick Strong match?
I was just letting you guys get your shit up because honestly, like, there's not a lot else I can say because you guys have summed it up pretty perfectly. I really like this match. I'm not like the biggest fan of this sort of style, but I just like Roddy and Garcia so much that I was just invested in it. I would like to see them wrestle again and again and again. So just keep throwing them at each other. It'll be great. I'll have a great time every time.
Well, yeah, man. Roddy Strong, he's 3-0, and I think it's fair to say that he's 3 for 3 for really good matches and 2-0 for really great singles matches. That Jericho match was like, you don't see that every week, you know. Really good stuff. A few more super chats before we move on to the last few things on the show. Mazfan84, he says 199. Odds on Roma refusing to job to Cody at WrestleMania. Well,
if you'd have bet on that, you know, for this year's WrestleMania, you may have collected money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe. You know,
maybe worth asking a question. That's what I'm saying. You know,
100%. Mazfan 199. Sabu, Funk, Barbed Wire in ECW is essential viewing. Listen, there's a lot of essential viewing with those two, to be very honest. And that promotion. So, you know, get your ECW pops, people. Get your Funk pops, get your Sabu pops, get them all. Legends of the business, people. Jacob Donnelly, $5. Love Cole's logic of, let me get this 50-year-old broken down man as my backup. Good shit, bro. Yeah.
Real.
It's pro wrestling, bro. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't pick Bobby Fish, so I don't really know.
Thank God.
That would have been something, man.
With
that promo before.
If he had done all that lead up and it was Bobby Fish, I don't think
Bobby comes out giving it this.
Yeah, with that Bobby Fish, with the Bobby Fish AEW theme as well.
Bobby comes out like shadow boxing, doing the deal, and oh mate. It'd be something.
You know, it'd be funny if it was Bobby Fish. They sold it like that. When Tito Ortiz came out in TNA, that would have been even funnier.
Bob Fish, that is.
That's a deep cut right there. You know, Mason 84.
Somebody has to make it now. Sorry,
Mason 199. Roddy, one of the best in AEW. WWE knew he would beast. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. A lot of us were saying free Roddy for a long time. You know,
yes.
We spoke about it. Joe spoke about it. I think a few of us spoke about it. You know, when he first re-signed with WWE a couple of years ago, whenever it was, things were very different. You know, it was pre 2.0. You know, before that whole idea, he was in a very nice position. It was before Triple H's you know, heart issues, and Triple H was always, you know, very very big on him, and it seemed like he had a really solid job. And obviously Marina Shafir, like, she had a job, she was there, that was a huge part of it as well. Like, he seemed like very like stable and in a nice place, man, you know, and he signed that contract, and then literally all those things I just mentioned went out the window like within a few months, you know. And he's working with all these younger talents and stuff, and he's putting them over, and he's being used as almost like a fucking player coach, you know. And then he gets injured and stuff as well, and it's just like, oh man. It was a hard few months, you know what I mean? It was a hard few months as a big Roddy guy, so it honestly is cool that like they let his contract run out, or he finally got his release, whatever the situation was, and he's been allowed to come into AEW and fucking cook, man, because that's what Roddy does, bro. He's an animal. And a lot of people are seeing it for the first time, which is cool as well. So shout out Rod Strong finally on the big time on national TV, and he's killing it. Christopher Lindsay, speaking of the devil, 499. Joe won't flex. I don't know. Might need to go back to NXT. How about we get Manny to do the Daniel Garcia little dance? You got it in you, man.
Like it's not a little dance at this point. It's a pretty big dance at this point, right? It's pretty.
I mean, I'll take it.
I appreciate it, man.
That was me sitting down, you know. I can't stand up right now.
Sabu's last match was 2021. It's not impossible. That's probably about me asking if he'll do something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I will pop fucking huge and just pray for him, you know.
Didn't Sabu have a heart attack or something like a month ago or something?
Don't think so. He did have a health issue, I believe. Didn't he say he had something wrong with him and he was in hospital? I think he tweeted about it.
Yeah,
It
happened at a festival, right? Not a festival, but a signing.
I don't think it was a heart attack, though. I don't think it was something.
I guess I just made that up. All right, there you go.
You do that a lot. It's all right.
You just have little bits of information and then fill the gaps in the most wild ways possible. It cracks me up so much. Like the Hangman promo.
He has a Twitch. He has a Twitch channel, which I did not know.
Too many?
What?
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, that's when you said earlier about Adam Cole. I was going to say they can talk about Twitch, you know.
Maybe that's how they're in contact.
Yeah, talk about subs and bits and stuff.
What the hell does Sabu even Twitch about?
I don't know.
Bro, we've been on for an hour and 43 minutes about wrestling. Of course, he just talks about wrestling, man. Come on, is it?
I guess.
All right, back to Dynamite, people. Keep the super chats coming on. We always appreciate them. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That is also massively appreciated. And we had a Willow Nightingale video, and it kind of recaps the match with Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné is shown on AEW TV, which a lot of people got very excited about. I just kind of saw it as like, well, fucking recapping the match. Obviously, wanted to make a point of putting Willow over here, you know, and obviously Mercedes is a very good way of doing that, you know. Yeah, man, it's just like I said, like we were talking about earlier when we touched on it. It's just really cool that Willow's got this opportunity, and even though it was unfortunate circumstances, it's cool that someone like Willow can benefit out of it, you know. And I'm sure she'll do that belt more than justice, you know. She's awesome. So, has anyone got anything to add on the Willow video package and the presentation sort of thing?
It's a simple, it's something you just obviously should do, but for all of his strengths, this is something that I think at a certain point, and he's time running AEW, Tony would have missed this kind of, easy play. It's like it's an open goal. So I'm glad they did it. You know, I think we all want more of Willow on TV, and I thought this was a nice way to show what she did and also set the stage for what she's going to be doing moving forward, and hopefully they maximize it, because even without this opportunity, Willow's money, you need to get Willow on this TV show as much as possible. But with it, it's like you're getting given the ball.
No brainer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think Tony would have showed this no matter what part of AW is in, because I think it's just somebody pinning Mercedes. So he was going to take advantage of it no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm happy Willow got her flowers. She deserves it.
Sure. Absolutely. All right, let's move on. I think we're on the main event. I don't know how I missed out the Blackpool Combat Club promo earlier, because like I said, it was genuinely one of my favourite parts of the show. Moxley killed it. And Danielson's Danielson, man. He's done his thing, and Claudio and Yuta just kind of stood in the back looking angry.
You and me mugging the cameras.
Yeah, it's always a par. But yeah, that was great, and obviously we touched on that earlier. But if I'm correct,
yes,
we are at the main event now. Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta challenged for the ROH Tag Team titles versus the Lucha Bros. This is good shit, man. It was good shit. There was some elite interference towards the end and after the show, etc., etc. And I like this, man. Lucha Bros, they haven't had enough tag matches on AEW TV. I think that's actually an understatement. They've kind of been missing in that regard in terms of tag matches, anyway. And even just in general, they just do not feel as prominent as they once did, and they're awesome, and I can't actually figure out a good reason for why, even with the injuries and stuff, throw them back right in, The crowd's always into Penta. Ray Phoenix is genuinely slowly slipping into being underrated. He's an animal, man. Phoenix is a fucking animal. And Claudio, it goes without saying, and I'm really popping for you on this current run, so I had a good time with this, man. And obviously, we'll get into the post-match angle as well. But I'll throw it to you first, man. You're the big Claudio scout. That's your boy, man. What did you think of your boy's main event last night?
Dude's a monster, bro. I mean, I'm glad that he's getting on TV.
That was Adam Lavelle-esque.
He's getting the shine that he's been needing to get. I love that he's in Ring of Honor right now, but this guy needs to be on the main stage right now. He's doing some of the best work he's ever done in his career. He's loving being a heel. Him mixing it up, slumming it up with Penta and Phoenix. Man. And then I thought the craziest spot was wait, why'd you make that face?
Well, just interesting phrasing.
Yeah.
It's just him throwing Yuta onto Phoenix and then him eating the Canadian Destroyer.
Oh, that Canadian Destroyer was something else.
I mean, I think this is honestly, I gotta think about it, and I thought about it a bit. This is honestly the best AEW tag team match this year, and
I agreed that it was the best TV match.
Yeah, I can't think of any other matches this year that have been blown away.
BCC versus Top Flight, Aussie Open versus Young Bucks, but I'm biased.
I thought the Top Flight, the one with Danielson, because I know they did a couple that week, the Top Flight versus Mox and Danielson, I think that was probably my pick. That was like the first week of the year, right? Yeah. So it's been a while.
I have to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually with AEW, we have like a ton of great tag matches this already, but you haven't had any.
See, Bucks versus Top Flight was really good as well.
Yeah.
I'll pass it on to somebody else. I can keep going, but I'll just
keep going, bro.
You can keep going.
No, it's fine. No, it's cool.
What? Can you keep going or not, brother?
Actually, I lied. I don't want to keep.
I knew it. I know, so I'm going to call his bluff. Go on then. I can keep going. No, this was really good. I hate to steal Manny's bit, but I actually agree with him that Claudio was like the story here. Like, he's probably the best tag team wrestler of the last 20 years. He's had like 8 good tag teams, and Yuta is quickly becoming the latest. This dynamic with Yuta is perfect. It's so great. And he was just on here, and they had some cool tandem offense. They worked in there too. They were such a good team that they had my attention in a match with the Lucha Bros, which is saying something because those guys are obviously spectacular. But I'm with you on Monty in terms of good to see those guys back on TV in a prominent tag match. I want to credit the booking on this. I was just really well done. You advanced your main event angle. If we're being honest, the main event angle for Double or Nothing, right? So you give the show a closing angle for that. You give your weekly show a big-time main event for the tag titles. And in all of that, the Lucha Bros, while they got some help for the win, still a pretty neat spot for them, right? They get a pretty big win in the main event of Dynamite. You did a lot here. You achieved a lot with this deal. And it's not, these are the kind of things that, while they might not be the booking plays that we make like a video essay about or whatever, this is the kind of thing that makes your TV show better. Because this wasn't a match you had to book, but you've used this Claudio Phoenix BCC Lucha Bros 2-match deal to give yourself 2 really strong TV matches. And I think, it was very, very apparent watching this week's show. That booking play helped them tremendously. So credit to the booking too.
Yeah, man, it was a good shit. And obviously, like Joe touched on, they got a little bit of help from the Bucks and Co. And, Bucks done the whole thing where they run through the crowd and, there's the promo and, you've got like the visual of like the Bucks in the crowd and the BCC in the ring. And yeah, I thought it was a cool way to end the show. Of course, Charlie, I know you're fired up for this one. We're all fired up for this one, but you're you're really into this. You know.
This is
you're
my
sold.
wheelhouse.
You know, you bought your ticket. You're
I'm
right there.
very excited. Bought Double or Nothing. I'm ready to watch. That's a lie, actually. I haven't bought the pay-per-view yet. I'm so excited for this. Like this, just this match in general, but like the post-match, like of this was really. It was interesting that it was just the Bucks involved until you consider when it comes to the Lucha Brothers. That's like the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers have been connected since before AEW even existed. Like their careers are so entwined, so it made sense that it was just the Bucks involved here. Because like there's so much history between the teams, but the match itself is like this is why I love tag team wrestling. Like matches like this is like it's just the thing that I want the division to be, and I really hope we get more of this in the future. And yeah, an interesting note: Matt was wearing a Bullet Club shirt, an old Bullet Club shirt, and I was like, I don't know what we're cooking here, but
keep your eye open for Cole Anderson on Sunday is what I take from that.
Yeah, imagine. It's a choice. I don't know whether it was just because they were spamming super kicks on Claudio to like keep him down. I think them choosing to do that was a good booking decision because it made Claudio look even more of a beast. Yes. That he needed to be hit with about 7 super kicks so that Penta and Phoenix could get the win. But yeah, it could have been a reference to that. It could be a reference to the fact that like the Elite was a like spin-off of Bullet Club. That's where it originally formed. It could be a sign of things to come. Who knows? Not I at this current moment. No, I'll get back to you in a few weeks if more hints drop. But yeah, I'm excited. This is
It's good shit. We do need to credit. You know, we missed the BCC promo and all kind of covered it afterwards. And Moxley here, I know you probably had it in the notes, Monty, but Moxley cut 2 money promos on this show. You know, and I've been consistent on this. And last night I tweeted it with a slight hedge because I didn't want people to be in my mentions like, actually insert wrestler name who cuts promos is better. I don't think anyone's close to Jon Moxley right now. I honestly, in terms of consistency, his delivery is always immense. But his content is so strong. Yeah. He always has cool lines that stick with you. The kind of lines you can use in a video package or whatever it may be. Like, I genuinely think like Daylight's second at this point. He gives them great promos every week. Both of his promos this week came to a combined, 90 seconds? Both money promos. You know, like, he's unbelievable. He's one of the best promo guys I've seen, genuinely. I think he's incredible in that regard. I think it's almost taken for granted at this point how good of a promo he is. So.
Yeah, I think there is definitely an element of it being taken for granted with Mox because it's just not something that people really associate with him immediately. Like everyone knows and is aware that he cuts really good promos, but like I said, it's not something that they immediately associate with him. It's more like his brawling style, his gritty vibe, all those sort of things instead. But yeah, like you said, he's kind of like underappreciated in that regard. A couple more things before we get out of here. Of course, that's the end of Dynamite. And one of them we have been prompted at by one of the super chats, so we've been looking at Cheesy Chester. $5 says, "What's up, gang? Just got here. Don't know if you've covered that ROH card. 19 matches. Tony, you got to chill sometimes, lol." I can't remember if there was a report or just someone said it on a podcast or whatever it was, but like there was apparently this like talk of making it like, like basically I don't want to say dark because obviously they've got their own titles and stuff like that. But in terms of like the way the show's formatted, and I think the 19 matches that you've just mentioned here is kind of a hint towards that. It may be trending in that kind of direction with the addition of AEW Collision because obviously Tony's going to be spread across and the stars and all the big stuff is going to be spread across the 3 TV shows. Honor Club, of course, only has a very limited audience at the moment. And even though they can sell like a couple pay-per-views, it's nothing compared to the AEW ones. You okay, Joe?
There's a flash going on this camera and it's made me very uncomfortable. Carry on.
Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that if it does trend like this and it becomes like as similar to Dark as cards like this week, with like the length and stuff. I'm making a stand, people. The 130 people that are in here, I will be moving the Thursday podcast to a more usual time slot because the 5:30 is a bit early, and I was making the risk because I thought Ring of Honor was going to be this like I don't even want to be like fucking spiteful about it, but I thought it was going to be like a proper show, bro. Like an actual show, and not just kind of all this filler. And there has been good moments, like even as recently as last week's the taping that was shown last week, bro. Like that main event was a real good time. AR Fox versus ZSJ was a real good time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like another fucking 10 matches or something on the show.
Yeah.
And this week there's 19 matches, bro, and I'm gonna put it up now because I've got it fucking on my screen.
All right, you put it on the screen right here.
This is crap. I'm just like, we'll get into some more detail once you guys sit. I don't have any problem
with I said I'll put it up on the screen, but I meant my phone screen. But I'm actually gonna pull it up.
Yeah, because there's a couple graphics
on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bizarre.
It really frustrates me.
I'm going to the hall, but
go on, mate.
Your circle tweets.
Well,
let's not get into it.
Well,
we won't get into it, but it was.
A couple of things on this, just quickly, Money, because it's important. Firstly, I am aware that it is insane for me, the person who has regularly produced 3 and 4 hour wrestling podcasts, to complain about length. I know it's hypocritical. Don't care, doing it anyway. Secondly, I do understand the pushback of like, it's just more wrestling. What we want. With that being said, this is extreme and it's outrageous. And I, as someone who's watched Ring of Honor in some form or fashion throughout my whole wrestling fandom, this show is just not. It's not grabbing me in any which way because it's like. It's not a show. It's just like a compilation of matches from a studio. There's no like.
People in the chat. Okay, so we've got 19 matches here. How many of these matches genuinely like, even like remotely interest you? Because like even like I love Claudia, bro, but like I just.
You don't need that match, yeah.
Bro,
yeah,
so
it's just like,
can you get rid of the put down the super chat real quick, please, so I can see the full card.
Absolutely, man.
Some good stuff on there.
I want to say like that Kingdom versus the Max match looks good. That Rocky Romero and Titus Alexander.
Shout out Titus Alexander.
That Sky Blue and Miranda.
Oh man, come on, bro.
It's not the matches are gonna suck. It's more that
they're not gonna suck. It's just like
the point,
Yeah.
And
I like this here. I like this one. Mark Briscoe versus JD Drake. I can get
I
into
like the Shane Taylor and that's not Depton.
Carl Fletcher Aussie Open. Carl Fletcher AR Fox.
That was a good money right
genuinely. It's important though. Like I think Tony has the right intentions when he does these things. He likes getting everyone booked, right? But at the same time, it's like if you have to do that, then do this as like a separate show, There's got to be another way. I mean, if you have to have like Ring of Honor TV and then there's a second Ring of Honor show, which would be insane in itself, I'd rather you do that than just give me 19 matches and make me comb through it. Like,
100%. So, let's say if this TV show was this main event here, so you got Samoa Joe and Zack Sabre versus Daniels and Sydal. So that's 1. Briscoe versus JD Drake. I would not be mad at that. Oh, that's 2.
That's good TV.
Fletcher versus AR Fox. That's 3. Fuck it, Jericho and Declan. You can get on the show. The Athena title defense 5.
The Rocky Romero and
Rocky versus Titus.
But and then the Kingdom the Max.
Honestly, the exercise we're doing right now is not even like, even if it's the worst matches on there, that's fine. But where are we headed to? Like Joe and Zach, I get we're building something. I'm very excited for it. I'm going to watch that tag match. It'll probably be in the match guide. But beyond that, it's just matches for matches' sake. And I know wrestling shows need some, but you've got to have some. There's got to be like, where is AR Fox going on Ring of Honor with his wins? And where is this guy? What are they doing on the show? It can't just be 100%. Like, here's their latest match.
Yeah, it's like we were saying earlier. It's just kind of like, it's not a show, it's a, it's this.
And look, I wouldn't mind if they're just all matches, but at least make a match worth going out of your way to see. And that's usually not what you're going to get for most of them. They're just like, it's like they're not building to anything. Like there's no Death Before Dishonor. There's no
angles.
The show, and I say this as someone who, and this we talk about this on the shows for the last few months. we all wanted this thing to hit, right?
Yeah.
And it has good matches every week. But it is a show without any identity right now. And it's a real shame. Like, it has no sense of what it wants to be and why people should be watching it. It's just, if you need more wrestling in your week, here are, 10 to apparently 19 matches on a Thursday night. And that's, look, there's an audience for it. I don't have a particularly big one, but I think there's got to be a better way.
I think Tony wants, it's because I feel like Tony wanted to put this on Warner Brothers or one of those channels. But man, and he's not doing anything to entice them to put it on any of their channels. Like, how is somebody like a Warner Brothers executive going to watch Ring of Honor show and be like, yeah, this show sucks. There's like no angles. There's no
big stars. That's what they look at,
Well,
also, I mean,
right there.
The metrics that are out there are not exactly. I don't think any networks can be like, good, let's get them on here. Like it's tough. I bore everyone with this. I'm sorry for bringing it up again, but I have to do it because it's relevant to the situation. I am a proponent of a US promotion being event-based. I know people disagree sometimes, and I got to drive it into the ground. However, I think it's pretty obvious. With AEW TV, no one needs more weekly TV. Make Ring of Honor an events thing. Give me a couple big shows a month. Big is relative. I'm not saying need to do Supercard every week, but Ring of Honor, we all fell in love with Ring of Honor as an events product. Sell me matches. Don't sell me a time slot in a studio. I love studio wrestling. But this isn't even studio wrestling. It's just matches in a studio. There's a difference, So there's so many ways to do this, and I feel like they're not making anything interesting. It's a real shame.
Yeah, 100%. Talking of real shames, the last thing I wanted to bring up was this fucking graphic, man. I'm gonna make it even. Let's make it even bigger for the people.
The
AEW International Championship Blackjack Battle Royale was announced earlier today, and there is some heavy hitters on there. A lot of people have been very critical of this, wanting to see their favourites in more prominent positions on Double or Nothing.
Oh, it's Kip.
The way we're talking about.
I'll run through the names for the people real quick. We've got the Butcher and the Blade up here from left to... We'll go from... we'll do the top line first, left to right. Butcher and the Blade, Bandido, Commander, Lee Moriarty, Big Bill, Davari, Tony Nese, Best Friends, Kip Sabian, Lucha Bros. Now we're going from right to left. At the bottom line, got Lucha Bros, Swerve, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Orange, Jay White, which I was very mature about in my reaction. Juice Robinson, Keith Lee, and Dustin Rhodes. Here we go. Yeah.
I hope you blades.
There's not even a Joker. That's what really bothered me about this. It's just there's no surprises. I'd rather not have known all of the fucking card, to be honest.
There's literally multiple guys that can win this, and I don't think any of them are going to win it. No. And I think
Orange Cassidy's going to escape by the skin of his teeth, and then he's probably going to drop it on the Dynamite after. I think that's how that story is going to
I think,
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to, but...
That's a hell of a lineup, man, for a fucking Battle Royal, isn't it? It's like...
You got some big names in there, which I'm happy
huge! About. That's the point. It's like... it's like a collection. It's almost like this graphic right here is almost like remote, somewhat slightly damning the promotion of these are all the guys that we haven't got anything for on pay-per-view. And you see names like Jay White, Ricky Starks, Swerve, Lucha Bros. And then you can even, then you can really pick it apart and be like Bandido, Keith Lee, you know what I mean? And all these other people.
I'm so glad Rush wasn't in here. I'd have been so mad.
Maybe this will be, maybe they'll prove me wrong on this. And next week when we do a review, we'll put over this Battle Royal. But AEW has a lot of strengths. I don't know who has convinced themselves this is what they do, a Battle Royal every month. I don't like any of them. I don't know why they keep giving me Battle Royal. I don't want any more. I didn't want any. They do a Battle Royal.
This was a choice.
I don't like it. I assume they will not do another battle, and they do another one. You see every time.
The crazy thing is as well, it's like a lot of people be like, oh, well, it gets everyone on the card. A lot of these guys are on contracts. It's not going to make a difference to their bottom line. And do you think someone like Jay White is like, oh boy, I'm on Double or Nothing in a Battle Royal? Like, no, bro, you'd probably rather be at home.
I also don't think I know Jay White fans don't feel that way. It's like I definitely get the balance of you want to get guys on the show. I get it, but I just feel like with the reign that Orange has had, I honestly think it'd be a shame if he loses it in this thing. Like, he's had this great reign. He's pinned 25 guys as champ, and he's going to get thrown over the top. It's like, I don't know. It does nothing for me, and I like a lot of the guys in this graphic, but that's not really the point. It's just, I'm not into it personally. But hopefully it's good. Hopefully, I'll be. I'd love to be wrong on the whole thing. So we'll see.
Bro, I'm with you all the way with your Battle Royal, AEW Battle Royal criticisms, because they're just, I think it's just an agent and producing issue. It's like, it's a very weird way of formatting a match, and it's just very different to your traditional wrestling match. It's very, very different, and it takes a certain type of person to be able to put them together successfully. It's like back in the day, everyone would always praise Pat Patterson about how he would put together the Royal Rumbles and stuff, and he's the best at it, and he's the one of one, etc., 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 and he'd get loads of praise just for that specific thing. Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely a skill, but it's very different to just using normal wrestling booking. So it's like Joe said, why keep doing them then?
They really struggle with the best version of these matches. Have a lot of set pieces. Individual moments you remember for each guy, they really struggle with that. So until they get to their finish, which they have mapped out, it's full like old school battle royal, people just brothering around in the corner of the ring and throwing shitty forearm, and it's no good oftentimes. Sorry, Charlie, what was you going to say?
No, I was just agreeing with you because I'm just baffled why they keep going back to this when they haven't had a good battle royal since like the middle of 2022, and I'm probably biased because the Bucks won it. But that's neither here nor there. Like,
what was the one? Was that the one with top
Hours?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was because they had the two battle royals back to back, like in back to back weeks, and they were both pretty good, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh, Joe, we're gonna pop.
I'm happy.
Sorry, Charlie.
It's alright. What are you popping for?
Fucking Roddy popped a number, didn't they?
No.
Oh, I need to see the quarter hours. I need to see this.
Right, take it easy. Don't, folks, keep this quiet, okay?
So the
take it easy.
The
Don't celebrate.
I'm not over celebrating. I'm gonna just read out the information.
Give us the news.
Where have you found them?
All right. So
the sheets.
This is from WrestleNomics last week. So the Jericho match we're talking now.
Okay.
The segment before, basically the segment that had the Jericho match with Roddy, it went up by, I believe, around about 75,000 viewers, and the demo went up by about 40,000.
Just here's what we're gonna do. Keep it quiet. Just wait and see what the Garcia thing may fuck us. I love Danny Garcia. It may not do quite the same numbers. If we hold steady for this week, we move ahead with the agenda. All right. I'll make some graphics, Monty. Don't tell anyone, folks. Keep it quiet.
Well, the people who are subscribed to the WrestleNomics Patreon, apparently the quarter hours from last night are indeed available now. So
there you go.
I am not subscribed to WrestleNomics, but I do support what they do. I may subscribe, to be honest, because they're fucking great at what they do.
Let me get on the Discord. Someone's probably got it.
It's a hell of a time. It's a hell of a time to be a Roderick.
Joe patiently waiting for these Roddy.
Well, this is going to make or break us, brother. This is it. I'm ready to send my email off to Dave regarding the Hall of Fame candidacy.
Monty, I think we need to discuss making Roddy a WrestlePurists athlete. It's just thinking about that.
And what would that entail, man?
Will we pay him to put WrestlePurists on his trunks?
A fight sponsor.
His gimmick becomes the WrestlePurist Roderick Strong.
There you go.
It would work.
Oh no! Chat's coming. It's bad news, folks. The agenda's died already. I'm sorry to say. I feel it.
Anyway, we'll just pretend it never happened.
Anyway, I don't care about ratings.
Anyway, fucking Brian Cage.
I'm just trying to see something. I don't care about ratings in general, but I want to see.
To be clear, I'm parodying the bit that we'll do every week where we only care when it's our favorite wrestlers. To be clear,
100%. I don't care about anything else on the show.
In 2020, my Timothy Thatcher fandom went up every week when I was told he's quarter hour bombed. Because I was like, oh, there he is.
Oh, I genuinely love Timothy Thatcher. I think he's great.
He's a real wrestler. Best British wrestler.
But hold on.
Yeah, that's a well-known fact. That's a well-known fact. It's a real jump scare when you take that off the screen. You don't. It's very. Anyway.
Yeah, we just zoom back out.
It's like, oh my god, there I am. Because I have to lean in to see what you're showing me because my eyes are bad. So then when I'm, it's close quarters, bro. It's close quarters. Anyway, enough about ratings.
Look at this. Look at these people in the live chat are animals. Look at them. How much did MJF drop? Like, what the fuck? The Roddy Garcia number is bad, man. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna forget it happened. Timothy Fletcher.
Yeah,
he's a good laugh, isn't he?
I do like that guy.
Elite British wrestler.
Like meeting him in San Francisco and then hearing him talk in not an English accent, I was just like, this is so baffling. He's great. He's very sweet. Yeah.
I appreciate any wrestler who just refuses to give in and concede.
Yeah, man.
Has my respect,
I saw him wrestle Speedball live. Like that was a hell of a match.
That was probably excellent. Yeah, because I liked him, but obviously sometimes he can be,
He's not
Someone said that Ian said during the Ring of Honor taping when Fletcher came out with the tag titles, saying that New Japan let him hold on to it one more time when he came out.
Wow.
That's very good.
Good
bit.
Yeah, my favorite Ring of Honor taping was the one with when Joe had to hide the belt. Remember when he had it down by his hip so they couldn't. There was also, folks, here's a little Easter egg for you that I got the insight on because a good friend of mine was at the tapings. If you watch the Samoa Joe Zack Sabre Jr. promo segment, you'll notice that Samoa Joe says around 6 times, "Good to see you back," or something to that effect, "Welcome back," something to that effect. And that is because Joe fell when he was going up the steel steps, fell down, looked at the steps as though he was going to fight them, and then simply just did it again so they could edit it. But of course, the way they edited it, they just left both parts of the promo in. So he just repeats himself 6 times. So little Easter egg for anyone there keeping track. Want to update
Joe law,
Yeah, if you want to update the Ring of Honor IMDb page, there you go. There's some information for you folks. But then we'll go. We'll leave it there. Enough inside baseball.
We got any agendas that you guys want to get onto, or anything you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, I reckon that Samoa Joe's a pretty good wrestler. I got to say, that's my big one right now. I may ramp up. I think Ibu wants to shoot an angle with me regarding this Punk Joe situation. Kind of ramp it up, maybe play it up a little bit. The Faves going to war. I don't know if that's a game I really want to play. I feel like I know how that one ends. It seems like I'm kind of setting myself up there, but
just put up the record. The time Samoa Joe beating CM Punk.
I go full Mike Tyson fan, talk about in his prime though, bro. He wouldn't touch him.
It's true though.
Well, results speak for themselves, brother.
Yeah.
Bro, Prime. There is an element of that with Prime Joe. That's the hilarious thing.
Yeah.
05 Joe, brother.
Someone in chat said Aussie Open agenda. That's always my agenda. That's been my agenda for a year now. Longer than a year because I've known who they are forever now.
I'm actually quite confident to get I'm quite confident in it, Jordan.
The first Aussie Open match I watched was during the pandemic when they wrestled the Velocities and they had almost an hour-long match and I said, fuck, man, keep going.
They're so fucking I love that match.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the Velocities a couple times live. They're fun too.
I gave it 5 stars, but I was like, man, fuck, man, they keep going and going.
It was good shit.
Manny, did you manage to catch Hulk Hogan on the MMA hour?
Come on, Monty. Of course I did.
What rules about Manny is when he said, "Come on, Monty," I didn't know he was going to say yes or no. Still, I didn't know. What a beast, man!
You got any highlights?
I was after I watched the clips. I was like, man, I need to know who Hogan's favorites are, and I need to know who he skips through because I have a good idea who he skips through, but I won't say it because Charlie's here. But I think Orange pops him. I don't know if he's a fan of the Elite. I think he likes the BCC.
I don't think he watches any of them, man. To be brutally honest.
The best part of the interview was when
he's a big Roddy fan. I know that.
Helwani asked, "Did he have beef with Austin?" And he explained, "No, brother. I didn't focus on Austin in WCW because he was part of the Hollywood Blondes who split up 9 months before Hogan came to WCW, which was such an unnecessary lie.
He's one of the most.
He had to say no.
He's one of the most legendary Hall of Fame bullshitters in the history of anything. Not just wrestling, bro. Anything.
He lies about stuff that is not I think that's bullshit. It's I know this isn't true, but he He just does it, bro. He rolls. Is what he does.
I would like to announce that wow, none of that was right. Kyle Fletcher is a ratings draw. His number went up in both the actual total viewership and in the key.
Well, hold on, weren't it the opening of the show?
Well, hang on. We don't.
Yeah, but it was quite a drastic jump for the key demographic. It went from 416 to 457.
Are you gonna make me call him a Big Bang Theory fraud?
Don't.
This was warning you, Charlie. As soon as Manny hears that someone opened the show, he gets spiteful, you know.
Cassidy was also.
More
Everyone
agendas.
knows what I think of wrestling for the masses, right, Monty?
Yeah.
Silent M, brother.
Silent M.
I won't tell you the Roderick Strong number because it makes me sad.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll do it backstage, you know.
I'll just say it's a fake number.
Numbers aren't real.
You do that a lot.
Andrew the Giant says Tish Strat agenda. It's kind of like throwing up the bat signal for me, you know. He's listen, brother. I've never been more right about anything in my life, you know. So I saw the talent early on, especially when a lot of people thought she was, you know, she got given like this really like crazy, well, not crazy gimmick, but she got given a gimmick. She was very gimmicky at the start. And it was very much, what are Vince and Bruce, because that's who was doing NXT when she first came off. Like, what are they cooking? I saw her get in there a few times, you know, and I saw the pieces, people. I saw the pieces. Got on the bandwagon early. I bought my stocks early. People call me crazy. But now they're seeing it now, people. They're seeing it. Mm-hmm. Tiffany Stratton, she's going to the top. She's winning a women's world title at WrestleMania one day.
I can see it.
She's going to make moves, people. She's going to make moves. And I've already said everything I need to say about Tiffany Stratton up to now. But like I said, people are getting fired up for winning this NXT women's title. It's peanuts, bro. Joe, it's peanuts.
Well, I need
peanuts.
Look, guys, I need y'all to pray for me. I want to go play basketball in a bit. You guys can pray for me.
God bless.
The shoes don't explode again.
No, I got some new shoes. I got some Kyrie, so you know I gotta.
What Kyries you got?
I don't know what they're called. I just know they're Kyries. They're not the mainline ones. I didn't, because I only got these for now until I can get a new pair of Barclays that don't explode on me. But
bro, you need to get in the post. I've told you this. I don't want to see these fucking jumpers anymore, bro. Enough of it.
No, I need to see you sink one, bro.
Bro, you ain't got it.
I was out there yesterday, and look, man, I was playing with some guys that knew how to hoop, man. They knew how to. It was magical,
getting smoked.
No, it was magical, man. I was getting teary-eyed. I didn't have to yell at these kids to cut. I didn't have to do anything. They all knew what to do right away. I set screens. I ran to the basket. They passed it. Then I would pass it out to the 3-point. Man,
who do you like in your head when you're playing? Who do you see yourself as? Like, are you seeing Tim Duncan? Like, how do you vision?
Yeah, there's always someone you see yourself as. So when I was younger, go on, man.
A mix of Barkley and Tim Duncan with a little bit of Ginobili.
A little bit. So 2 4s with a little bit of fucking shooting guard, Ginobili. All right, perfect.
And sometimes I mix in the little Dirk fadeaway with the one leg. You know, you saw me do it. But...
So you're a mix of the 3 best power forwards ever.
And Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, and Manu.
I am a little bit lost.
You should have seen me. I did a Euro step into the paint, and then I did a behind the back pass to the 3-point line. The shooter didn't even expect it.
Bro, you're a bigger liar than Hogan, bro. That's a crazy thing to say. I need some video of you doing anything like that. That is an insane thing.
Hey, Max, are you here?
Wait, is MJF there? What's going on?
My brother. He was there.
Bro, there's no way.
There's no way your brother does not. From the stories you've told us about your brother, there's no way your brother would not come into your room right now and just own you. You know?
Well, first of all, you know what? It's probably better that I'll get him on a mic. He probably say something even crazier than I will say.
Right.
That's saying something.
He was in jail, so you never know what he's gonna say.
Right.
Last agenda before we get out of here. Desperado should win.
Listen, I think that is a
He's been an absolute standout.
Who was that? Sorry, Charlie.
El Desperado. He should win.
Oh, he's awesome.
That match with
incredible.
That match with
Oh my god. That match I've watched that like 3 times now. It's fucking incredible.
It's amazing because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just thought it was great. I didn't know the length of it. So when I was watching it develop, I was like, it seemed like a simple story of just he kind of bit off more than he could chew. Right? Like Desperado's not the dude to play with, and he was talking shit to Desperado. But then the match spins and it becomes all about how like defiant and gritty Akira is. Oh, it was absolutely incredible.
Star-making performance. I've been high on Akira for a long time now, but good shit. And then the match that Desperado had with Robbie Eagles on Tuesday, I think. Mm-hmm. Don't hold me to that. Can't remember. Oh man, it's been a great tournament. Lio Rush has had some incredible matches.
Yeah, it's been a really good.
Hiromu, Titan. I have a list.
Speedball especially, man.
I'll send it to you.
Speedball's like when he got announced in like the bracket or like in the list of participants and the blocks were announced and stuff. A lot of people kind of just thought like Speedball would just be kind of like a just play a part sort of thing, eat a few pins, hopefully have maybe like a little one main event or something here or there. But like nah, man, like he's been featured prominently. I think he like I'm not sure what his record is now, but at one point he was like fucking what was it, like 6-2 or something, like you know what I mean, or something crazy. Like
he went into the semis with 12 points. I think.
Well, there you go.
Don't hold me to that.
12 points, mate. That's like pushed. That's like contracted guy fucking points,
like because him and Leo Rush went neck and neck, but oh man. There's so many matches.
Leo's awesome,
Leo
but obviously,
so good.
Obviously, with Leo, as awesome as he's been, like you could tell that New Japan definitely like they do like him and have a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
I think that's been ramped up even more so like since the start of this year. So him having like a good run in this doesn't surprise me that much, but it doesn't like shock me that they've given Speedball like something to run with. But I wasn't expecting it, So yeah, shout out Speedball, man.
And Speedball had a match. I cover it in more detail in the match guide, which I'll plug properly in a minute. But they have a match where it's like, when I say those two names, Lio Rush, Speedball, Mike Bailey, you can imagine the kind of sequence they're going to have, right? And they have that sequence. But the middle part of the match is really interesting because Bailey like actively slows himself down and focuses on throwing the big bombs and the strikes.
Yeah.
Because that allows Leo... Right, that allows the Leo to be a contrast, and it's like it was a really smart match. Lio Rush is the king of that right now to me in terms of like he gives you the big stretches and the big evasive sequences, but then when it comes down to it, he sells and he works like a traditional babyface, and the crowd loves him. It's like I'm really happy for Leo. It's great to see him having this run.
Yeah. Also, shout out TJP because if he's quietly had a really good tournament as well. Like, I don't think any of his matches have been bad.
Say that round hall, but mate.
Well,
look at the deflation that you just.
No, I have to be honest. Charlie's watched the tournament closely. I haven't. I haven't watched those matches.
No, TJP has been.
TJP is a great wrestler. Man. He is just. Well, he's
just a freak.
Yeah,
he's just a freak. Like,
so I can't say you're wrong because everyone's told me the matches have been great. So.
Yeah. And Titan, man, I didn't know much about him going into this, but
he's big.
He's so good. I wanted him versus Despy to be the finals, but it's a semi-final match, and I'm very, very excited for it.
Yeah,
I've been super into Best of the Super Juniors this year. It's been the best one since like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, it's got a lot of love.
Poor Kashida's had the shit kicked out of him, innit?
Yeah, he still had really good matches though, but he
that's what I mean. He just had the shit kicked out of him.
He's the tag champ, right? Now.
Yes, him and Kevin Knight are the junior heavyweight tag champions.
I liked his match with who did Kushida wrestle at Korakuen on like the opening week of the tournament? Was it Doki? I think who rolled him up. He caught him off guard at the. Yeah, I believe it was Doki. I reviewed this match. I'm sorry, folks. I've seen all wrestling as of late, but yeah, Kushida's still razor sharp. I'm intrigued what the direction is there with him.
Yeah.
He went 2-7. Wow, that's crazy.
We got any predictions for who's going to win the Best of Super Juniors for?
Got to be Despy. it has to be Despy this year. If it's not Despy, they've done something desperately wrong.
So
I'm very invested.
When is the final? Is it the weekend?
Fridays. I can check the schedule. I know there's semi-finals tonight. I think there's 2 shows left. I think.
Look at these block standings.
Okay. And so this weekend is crazy, right? Like this weekend is absolutely loaded.
Saturday. It might be.
I'm just kidding.
Shut up, buddy.
So what have we got? What have we got left then, or are we just straight into the semi-finals and?
Yeah, it's just straight into the semi-finals.
I'm just gonna look at the blocks. So we've got Mike Bailey and Teton. They were the top 2. Yes. Leo Rush was 3rd. So how many are advancing to the semis? Just the top 2
is Sunday.
Hey Montel, check out the new shirt Will Ospreay put out.
I will after the show.
The semi-final matches are El Desperado versus Teton and Speedball Mike Bailey versus Master Wato. I believe.
My God.
Yeah, because
that's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's got.
There seems to be like some investment in him from New Japan. So
semis is 26th and finals is 28th. Thank you, Jamie.
Okay, so we're looking. Okay, so this weekend, I'm gonna do my plug now, Monty. Okay, here's the deal, folks. For the 10 of you that give a fuck, here's the deal.
One sec.
Yes. Oh my God, the big man is back.
Important message.
The big man is back.
Message from Parker, who loves WrestlePurists, and WrestlePurists loves Parker.
It's pretty good, man.
Yes.
Parker's the man. My match guide, which usually drops on Mondays, this week we're going to do something a little bit different because it is such a loaded weekend. There's going to be a match guide probably on Saturday. I've pretty much finished it. It's going to be matches that I've missed from the weekend that just went, and also some TV standouts. Monty's favorite, Tiffany Stratton, who wrestled Roxanne Perez. That's in there. Maybe something from Dynamite or Raw. I'm not sure yet, but there'll be some different stuff in there for Saturday. And then early next week, I'm going to do like a pay-per-view weekend special, which will feature matches from Night of Champions. It will feature matches from the Double or Nothing, of course. Best Super Juniors final. And maybe, just maybe, if Nick Aldis rolls back the years as the world's champion, we may even get an Under Siege match in there. So there's a couple match guides coming up. I wanted to plug that here so people, that do care know. Some cool shit. A lot of good wrestling. Enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, man. Very good shit. And since you was talking about Leo quite a lot, Corey, I believe, Corey Michaels is one of our feature writers. He wrote something on Leo Rush this past week. Nice stuff, man. And it kind of just like it's titled like Far From Home, and it's kind of about like how he's ironically found somewhere that kind of feels like home in New Japan, which I think when Leo Rush was first like bursting onto the scene in WWE and stuff, like on a national level anyway, I don't think that's where anyone kind of thought he would like settle, which it seems like he's heading in that direction too now. So a really cool piece by Corey. He always puts so much care into his stuff as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out Leo Rush, shout out Corey in the feature. Charlie, Manny, any plugs?
That guy's just said, man, pray for me. That's all I need.
Read my Christopher Daniels feature if you haven't yet. Like, that's the only thing I've got to plug at the moment. I might have more features coming up. There was a few ideas I was throwing around on the timeline. I will. There will be more stuff.
You will.
Yeah, there will be more stuff eventually. I've got a few ideas right now. This Orange Cassidy stuff, I'm pretty all in on. So
the semester's over, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Your eyes now.
You got me till September. Well, I'll still be part of WrestlePurists after that. I will just not be writing as much. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Orange Cassidy stuff, people seem pretty enthusiastic about me writing something about that. So
that's the one for sure.
Yeah,
that'd be really good stuff.
It will, it will bring the same dipshits into your mentions that usually are there, but the love for that will be. I think people will be with that for sure. In terms of other things that Manny should have plugged.
The
Late Night Grin is back tomorrow night. Manny is on that show. He's no longer paid for it, so that's why I didn't plug it. What's happening with the money over there? Anyway, Late Night Twitch.tv/Late Night Grin. We're back for a flagship episode. First one in about 6 weeks. we're now in our part-time era. If you like bullshit such as this, very similar bullshit is happening elsewhere. So that's where that's at tomorrow. We're going to preview Double or Nothing directly and some Night Champions. So it'll be a good time tomorrow night on Twitch. So there's another plug while I'm out. Going for it tonight, man. Are you hearing me over here? Like a fucking salesman.
Animal, mate. Animal. Oh. We're fucking animals on here.
Yeah,
all right, so tomorrow on Purists, 6 p.m. Eastern, I believe, unless Tony's done some fucking... You know what, though? Last week, we went head-to-head with Dynamite. No, with Dynamite, fuck. I won't do that. Man, we could do watch-alongs. Rampage and Unpurist, they squared off, and they went head-to-head because we just got sick of Tony messing with the Unpurist time slot, man. We had enough, and I was like, let's do a science experiment and see what happens if we go head-to-head with it. So we did, and the podcast still done very well, so fucking,
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like many of our audience are big fans of AEW Rampage, which, I don't know if anyone would be overly shocked about that. And, we all love AEW here. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Super chats have all been massively appreciated. We massively appreciate those of you. Hold on. I was massively appreciate all the super chats. Like, subscribe. Tomorrow on Purist, 6 p.m. Eastern, then at 8 p.m. Eastern over on the Late Night Grin channel, Late Night Grin with Joe, maybe Manny, Oracle, the guys, I don't know.
Starting lineup, brother. Starting lineup.
Some real
maybe I'll be there.
Manny will be there. And yeah, man, I appreciate all you guys that have stuck with us till the end. There's been like well over 100 of you for a majority of this. So yeah, we just appreciate the support, man. And Jamie Ross, our head writer, those of you need to follow him, man. Jamie Ross, WP, on the Twitter. £5 super chat. He says, I also love WrestlePurists, and we love and appreciate him very much. I'm like 3 followers away from like fucking 1,000 followers or something on my Montal WrestlePurists account. So follow me. I don't fucking. I don't ask for these things. I never retweet my own tweets on the main account and put myself over. You gotta give me something. So if you don't follow my personal account,
I'm gonna go and follow you just for that.
I'm gonna wait till it gets to 1,000.
Joe, you can go fuck yourself.